Yeah, on that.
What up, CBR fam?
What's up,
And
y'all, man?
we got some trappers in here tonight. It's about to
I
get
was
real
playing.
greasy.
I was playing my guitar. Whoa, I was playing my guitar. You know what I'm saying? I like
Let's
the
play your
intro.
guitar.
The intro raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Get that air guitar.
you've been listening too much Frankie Beverly lately. I can tell. That's all you've been talking about is Frankie Beverly.
Guitars,
Uh,
man. Rain suits.
you
But
got the Nike hats like Frankie Beverly with the all white Nike hats?
nah, man, I ain't that fire. I got a Kango though. I got a all white Kango.
All right, rock that all white Kango. What's up, y'all, man?
I'm gonna do it one
Tonight,
day.
tonight we got MJ on from Trap Talk, and this is gonna be a Chondro. This is gonna be a Chondro Bar Room slash Trap Talk. Collaboration. We both been on his show, so we felt it was only
For
right
sure.
that he come over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, we both been
Uh,
over there and chilling the
uh,
app.
Randy, I saw that comment. You better chill out. And your cousin Bill Hoffman too. Y'all better cut that shit out.
Where Randy on,
Uh,
man?
you'll see it. Uh,
Oh yes. We gonna get into that.
we're not getting into that shit.
Church.
But we glad to be back another week.
Hey man, we appreciate y'all pulling up again. Oh
What you say?
shit, there you go. We appreciate y'all. Your shit acting weird.
Oh shit.
it did.
Hold
It
on,
did
it's
the.
doing.
It did the sideline thing. Yeah, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all pulling up again with the fellowship acting. You know what I'm saying? The congregation, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Tapping in with us. Me
and
and Apostle Travis. You know what I'm saying?
what up? Hey, also we got let's talk about our sponsor, Chris from Innerbox, man.
Hey, shout out to Chris from Inner Block / Chris in the Flood. Shout out to him.
Yeah. I think Chris is back up from the flood. So, if y'all need 3D printed stuff, go check our man Chris out. I'm still waiting on your little commercial video, Chris. So I need it.
He was building a submarine and he needed to bring the water into his house.
Man, you gotta leave them submarines alone.
Stop seeking, man.
The secret submarine. But yeah, I don't really got much going on. Still got some babies for sale. But Keno, I'll let you get into whatever you got going on, and we'll bring MJ in.
Me, ain't nothing. Business as usual. Over here. Steady and slow. The baby's growing.
Steady strong, steady long.
Steady strong, steady long. I think everybody on fuzzies now, except maybe like 2, maybe 1. But yeah, everybody on fuzzies now. That's cool. They starting to not eat on schedule like they was. They starting to have their own days and not pick when they want to.
Yeah, you notice after a while, like they don't want to be on that week schedule. Some of them they want to eat like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like every 2 weeks, every 10 days, something like that,
Yeah.
every 13 days. But
It's normal.
everybody rolling along, but and they getting size to them. So I like that.
Shout out to Brian Latimer.
Shout out to Brian Latimer.
Shout out to the mayor, Brian Latimer.
Where Brian Latimer? Okay. All right. Shout out. I ain't even see Brian, man. I gotta check the comments again. I started like 30.
We got the mayor
Stiegel
showed
up in
up.
here. I was
The
about to
mayor
say,
showed
I
up.
see Stiegel, Jason, Earl's Exotics up in this boy.
We
got
got
Didi,
Marlon,
Noe.
Didi and Noel.
Man, we got the whole gang up in here.
Tradesman,
Yeah,
cousin
that's it with
Tradesman.
me.
Alum.
That's
Randy
it with me.
P's here.
I was thinking about doing like a summer breeding, but you know what? I'm gonna stay with what's working for me. So I got something on my sleeve, but it's coming. It's gonna be like end of September.
You got your mojo working?
The gear is starting to work. You know how you be looking at your collection is like you know what you want to put together, but you just hoping everything compatible and shit.
Yeah, I
And
be doing that, and I be looking at all the snakes I got and be like, bro, it's too many in
well, that's cool too. You had like a 45 piece, so yeah. I mean, I'm cool with I had a little eight piece, so I'm good. But
here. So many.
but
But
that man, the gear's starting to move now. I'm starting to think about what you want to put together and all that. So yeah,
what up, Chantel, KT?
I'm excited to jump back into another breeding season, get everything rolling.
We got Heartland in the house. FTL. All right, man. If you ain't got nothing else, let's just bring MJ in.
That's it, man. We could let's get it cracking.
Salamander here.
What up, Salad? What's going on, bro?
Little Aiden showed up. All right, let's bring MJ in.
Jeffy. What up, Jeffy?
What up, Javi?
Aiden up in here, Becca. What's up, Becca? Everybody up
What
in
up,
here.
MJ?
What's good? How's everyone out there?
We went to the
Man,
West
they showed
Coast
up
tonight.
for you, man.
Yeah, I just
They
want to say
showed up for
shout out to all the love in the chats, man. I see the live chats jumping. Just want to say first and foremost, thank you for having me. This is an honor to be here. It's kind of awesome to see a podcast dedicating to something that I'm just so, excited to keep. Yeah, man, shout out to the Chondro Bar Room. This is sick. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we wanted to have you here, man. We wanted to have you here. And
Yeah,
we
man,
also appreciate you having both of us on yours. So it's only right.
Yeah, definitely one of many episodes to come with you guys on it for sure. Nothing but collaborations in the future.
For sure.
So
how's baby life been treating you, man? What's up, man? You got a papa? You got the kangaroo shirt? I ain't never had the kangaroo shirt, but you got the. I ain't never had
the pouch.
What's up?
Hey, okay. I'm right now. I want to let anyone out there know how easy it is to be a sucker to buy almost anything that you see advertised on Instagram. And I ain't gonna lie, some of this shit is like, oh God, I need that. Like, I need to get that. And I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie. I just thought I liked the style. I liked how it fit, kind of fucking like it fit like a shirt. It like low key. Okay. Without that baby, without Leo being in that pocket, you don't really know there's a pocket there. It just kind of looks like a weird kind of shirt, but you can pull it off, But man, that shit works. I ain't gonna lie, it worked. Man, I tucked that bull in. He's out.
You better hope he don't have a blowout in that.
Yeah, you should pair that shirt with some MC Hammer pants, bro.
So I guess what happened was the first time I used it, I slipped him in his diaper. I think it undone or something, and that fool pissed all over my stomach. It already happened. It already happened. Man. But yeah, honestly, yeah, best time of my life. You know what I mean? I can't ask for a better moment right now. I want to say shout out to my wife. My wife's in the chats, but none of this could be possible without her. So shout out to my wife, Lily. Thank you so much for everything, man. But yeah, it's best time of my life, man. Living the dream, literally living the dream.
Hey man, you better enjoy this time with your kids, man. Eventually, once they start moving and just fucking up the house, man, they not cute no more. They just not cute no more.
Next thing you know, they 10.
Yeah, man.
Telling you, my mama said I ain't gotta listen to you. Like I'm your daddy.
See how that goes.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta beat them up sometimes.
You gotta put in a figure 4.
You gonna put them in a cobra clutch? MJ, I had this question for you, man. Before we start off with anything, hey MJ, what kind of DJ are you, and where are the MJ mixtapes? Are you on that Piff? Can I get MJ mixtape?
No, listen, it's funny you say that because I'm trying to keep myself like, it's funny. I do have a kid now, right? But I want to try to commit myself on staying more active with stuff that I feel helps me. Like jiu-jitsu is something that I've been making sure I haven't been sleeping on as much. And it's been helping me like reserve energy. And it's weird how that helps, right? But then the music, like honestly, just DJing by myself in my room, bumping music with stuff that I just have in mind, that's a whole nother level of therapeutic. And what really makes it, because I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm literally a Leo. Like I like to show off. I like for people to be like, yo, I did this. You know what I mean? So
you be dropping bombs like Funk Master Flex, don't you?
Man, I don't want to. I want to say I'm on that level, bro. But I'm just saying, like I have I have a mix of a few worlds that are all together, which is primarily like house music. Like all my shit, like if you listen to any mix that I put out, it always has a house beat in it. You know what I mean? But then
I heard the mix you sent me. You sent me a mix a while ago.
Yeah, that was like something I just did for a good homie of mine whose dog passed away, and I wanted to cheer him up. He loves my music, so I put something together. But anyways, yeah, DJing, man, yeah, dude, I'm a big music snob, bro. Like I listen to it all, like all of it. Yeah, it's something where that, I mean, like, you know, anyone who hears any of my previous podcasts is where I used to say, like, before I came into the reptile world, it was all about the music, and I was trying to be that DJ. My head was kind of in the gutters, you know, in a sense, but I was very passionate and very, like, I loved to DJ, man. It was my thing. And so yeah, man, I just don't do it as much, obviously, you know, just because, but I still fuck around. I still got my decks. I still got things to where if I want to get down and make a new mix or some shit, I could do that anytime I want.
You do like weddings, little pool parties and shit for the homies and shit.
For the homies, exactly. Like I don't like I think a couple times I put myself out there like to do some wedding gigs, and those are stressful, bro. Like even for the homies, bro, like it is stressful because, you know, I mean, some of it, you know, you obviously you want it to go smoothly, and then some of it just doesn't always go that way. Just how shit rolls. But I
they don't want to let you play. They don't want to let you play your Andy Milonakis songs.
I don't know what the fuck is that, Brian. I
Oh man, I bump a couple Andy Milonakis songs by myself in the car.
Don't ever admit that shit to nobody else.
That's like
entertaining, bro.
That's like saying you bump a Beavis and Butthead soundtrack.
I can't believe you just said that shit on live, dog.
Hey man, Hey man, Beavis and Butthead Do America is a classic movie, bro.
It is.
It's a classic movie.
I think we grew up in a classic time. Can we all admit that? Can we all be happy the generation we grew up in? Like, you know what I mean?
The 90s was the greatest era.
I mean, 80s, it might have been. 90s, yeah, the best. Nothing tops it.
80s, 90s. Yep. I think 80s had the best. I think 80s might have had the best movies of any.
You're born in the 80s, but you grew up in the 90s.
And I think
like you got to see a lot of end of the pimping, a lot of new pimping. You got to see a lot of new shit changing again.
I would say
especially those,
and then like the
pornos and stuff from your dad.
Yeah.
You saw the porn change from tapes and from videotapes to V8 to DVDs.
And the soundtrack for them pornos.
Bro. Corrupt. MJ, I know you was watching Corrupt. I know you was watching the Corrupt ones. The WCC ones. I know you was watching.
Did you watch the Corrupt ones?
What Corrupt? Yeah. What you talking about the home videos that they made?
You know what we're talking about.
I remember the Snoop Dogg came out with a couple ones. I never watched that shit though, to be honest.
You know which ones you talking about?
Yeah, it's crazy because I had so many homies like obsessed with like porn and like magazines and shit like that. It just kind of like I felt like, damn, these fools, like I wonder if they're ever wondering if they're never going to get laid or something, you know. It always feel like something that was so desperate and sought after, and I don't know, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, man, just like that kind of shit. Like I never thought, like, man, let me go watch that video and watch these fools gangbang these bitches and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like
you ain't never had nobody sell bootlegs. Nobody, you ain't had nobody around you selling like bootleg movies and shit.
Oh yeah, hell, back in the days in the malls, yeah, they used to
bro, you get like five Lil Wayne mixtapes, and then they throw you a freak CD. You be like, what's this?
Like, he throw you a flick. He gonna throw you a flick for the free.
They used to roll around with CD cases. They had them in CD cases, and they'd be like, "What movie you want?" And they used to flip through the movies and shit like that. I'll never forget that.
All the Latin booty talks, Latin booty talk 11, Latin booty talk 12.
See, Chad went deep. You was knee deep in it, Steve.
Hey man, you remember when you get the magazines? They was in the little plastic. You got to open it like it's a fucking
like a comic,
like a Chewy bar. You got to open that shit.
No,
it's in plastic.
A magazine?
I ain't never
the magazines bro. In the stores, like the magazine used to be in like plastic, and you got to open that shit up.
Are you talking about naughty magazines still?
Yeah.
Can we change the subject?
I never
you don't want that. No, you see that shit.
You need Antoine Hood on this show for this type of shit, bro. He loves this shit. He goes to strip clubs. He'll talk about this shit all night long.
Who is Dre?
What are you talking about? You
Good night. Round 5 was the best.
Okay, man.
That's too much.
Dre know.
Dre knows
Dre
exactly.
knows.
Shout to Dre.
Dre know.
Dre's dusting off his VHSs right now as we speak.
Well, Randy said onion booty number 9. Yeah, he knows.
Randy know. What's that?
All right, man.
That's a wild beginning.
So let's get to it. MJ, you do a quick intro because everybody knows who you are. You can talk about where you started, and we'll progress past that. This is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, man. Well, my name's MJ. In case you don't know what my name is, MJ, and I have the podcast called the Trap Tack Reptile Podcast, coolest reptile podcast in the world, which is just all about being in the industry, but talking to the most relevant people in the industry, in my opinion. I think I was very lucky to be meeting some of the most influential people who've been in this for a long, long time. And I'm not just talking for like the keeper side, but like people literally in the business sense of things, people who made living off of this and whatnot. And so I think a lot of that stuff I knew right away could be like brought to a table and discussed. And also shout out to my boy Forrest Fanning, rest in peace. But Forrest was the first guy to tell me how
rest in peace to Forrest.
Yeah, Forrest was the first guy to tell me how he knew all these people and how he could get them on the show. And that was why me and him first came out. Like I only started a podcast because of Forrest. I had the idea, but I would have never had the balls to do it because my lack of experience. Like I was only in the game for like 2 years, but I had a strong opinion on things because even in 2 years, if you're really like making moves and paying attention, you see a lot. And I felt like a lot of stuff just didn't line up, and I saw a lot of fake shit going on throughout all the
fake shit, a lot of fuck shit,
and people don't like to talk about it openly. And I'm like who's gonna stop me? Like, and people ended up liking the fact that I just kept shit 100. You know what I mean? And mind you, I'm not saying everything I say is factual. I mean, I could be off sometimes, but I just keep it how it is. And some people like it, some people don't, but you get real loyal support that way because the ones who stick around you like you for who you are. There's no hidden agenda. You know what I mean? And that's just I just, that's kind of how that goes with that. But anyways, that's my podcast. I want to say what makes me most relevant in this industry is the podcast. But I got to say my biggest passion is being an animal keeper, which I have a business called the Trap Exotics, which is where I sell primarily ball pythons right now. That's the only thing I sell is ball pythons. That's my foundation on why I'm even here today, why I have all this behind me. You know what I mean? It all came from the ball pythons. But slowly and surely, I'm going to get my hands, established with chondros and emeralds and all this other stuff I'm fucking highly passionate about. Like, I just love this shit. And I know as many failures as I've had, I don't give a fuck. I'll take more failures. Like, I'll wait however long I got to wait to get where I need to get with this shit behind me. So I feel like anytime you're at a mindset like that, it's going to come when it comes. So, but yeah, man, that's it. I'm just, I keep a lot of different diverse shit. I keep over 15 species of pythons. I have a couple different species of monitors. Monitors lately have been like, they don't overtake the chondros. Don't get me wrong, but goddamn, man, they smash and, very passionate about those and whatnot. So I'm just, man, I haven't been in this for too long, man. And I'm very, very blessed, very lucky to be where I'm at and to have all the support that I have. And I'm all about passing the knowledge any way I can and learning too, man. It's all about learning. I love that every fucking guest I bring on, I learn something new. And even watching your guys' show, we've had a lot of the same guests on, but I've found out shit on your guys' shows that I've not found out on times I've had, Patrick on. I've had Patrick on like 4 times. And the panel you had, shout out to all the Texas homies in the building, but the Texas panel you had was great, man. I think Patrick really fucking killed it that episode. I'm not gonna lie. He shout out to the mayor too, Bill, Mark, Matt. I mean, it was a great episode. I want to give you guys
Ken Deal the pimp
from that. Say what?
Ken Deal the pimp.
Yeah, I don't know why I have not heard much of Ken. I've heard his name a bit, but it was cool to get to know him more. And also another thing, right? I wasn't too tapped in with Ken. Now I'm tapped in with Ken, all because of you guys.
Yeah,
Ken's good money.
Man, Ken and Matt, They'll take you back, man. They'll take you back to the
I've talked
heyday.
about
What I like to call it, the heyday.
Yeah. And you know what? You got to respect the heyday, man. This is why, like, the fact that some of my best friends in this game are Bill Stiegel, Gary Shavino, Marshall Mendez. I mean, I don't want to say Bill Stiegel's much of a heyday guy. I mean, he's over it. He's in this over a decade. But fuck, Gary Shavino's been doing this from the late 70s or late 70s, 80s. Sorry, Gary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add
No.
Marshall, Marshall,
I know what you're talking about. Like even though Stiegel, older fella, he more like putting on for like the new generation, like the last 15 years.
Stiegel's on for the new generation.
But what you talking about like the OGs from like 30, 40 years ago. I know what we talking about. That ain't no disrespect to Stiegel. That's just that's just it is what it is.
That's my boy.
Plus Stiegel's this year, this 2023 for Bill, like it's been crazy.
Yeah,
so,
well deserved too, man. I want to say anyone who stumbles across Bill, because here's the thing: when you make noise like this, people obviously come to you brand new, and they don't really know what you've gone through to get to where you're at. And Bill has fucking gone through some shit to get where he's at. So I want to say shout out to Bill for putting in the years of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bill cooler than the fan.
Bill's good motivation. I'm motivated easy off people, man. I always say be a self-motivator, but sometimes it's not that easy.
Yeah.
People motivate me, man. I want to say another person, my life coach, Socrates. That's my boy right there, bro. Anyone needs to tap into Socrates. Ari Eli Max Boreals. That guy's changed my life. Bill's changed my life too. But Socrates has talked some sense into me that not even my dad or grandpa or someone could talk sense into me. Like he was just able to connect with me, and that's all because of the snakes. This is why. If you do good by the animals, you'll connect with the right people and your whole life will change. Everything will change, So it's just amazing to have these kind of people in your life.
So going off that, like, shit, when did you first jump off into the green trees?
Shout out to my wife, man. So check it out. I got into let's see, ball pythons. Like as far as like looking at a ball python to where I want to get a rack, that was 2016. 2016 is when I bought a rack off Craigslist, and it stored 8 adult ball pythons. I'll never forget. Okay, but as soon as I got that, I remember the guy who was like my very first like ball python mentor, Chris Cercery. I will give him a shout out. He told me, hey bro, like you should take your account. And mind you, I came from I'm still doing music. I have my accounts on private. Like I don't have like I don't know anything about Instagram. I don't know nothing about hashtags, no nothing. And so I'm showing this guy who's like, I'm like, hey, I got a pie and I got this. He's like, bro, and I'm posting shit. I'm getting like no likes, like nothing. Nobody's liking my shit. And I'm like, what's happening? And he's like, bro, you got to take your account off private. And I'm like, what? And so once I did that, and like that's when the whole reptile world, like I fucking went nuts, bro. That's when I started obsessing, like literally obsessing over this shit. And I started just seeing pages. And then it was I can't even tell you the first chondro page it was, but I remember seeing a chondro on Instagram, instantly typed it in on Google, saw one on Craigslist. Okay. And it was he called it a gorilla biak. It was some weird name, but it was some like, yeah, it was some name. And like, it was from Underground, bro. It was from Underground Reptiles too. The guy, the guy who originally got it from. But anyways, my wife ended up like paying half of it for me. Cause at that time, man, like my whole life was changing. Like she told me, listen, if you want to keep me in your life and you stop selling drugs, like you got to start being a fucking, like a citizen. And I'm like, oh, all right, fine. So, and once I made that change, I was broke. I just didn't know how to make, I only know how to make fast money at that time. You know what I mean? And so anyway, she helped me out and that motivated me. And so after I got, and her name's Mimi, I still got her to this day, bro, right there. She's right here in this corner. But she, dude, that was a snake. Like, man, it's hard to explain, right? But when you got a snake that can make you sit down Indian style and you're staring at it like for like 3-4 hours, like I could not tell you how I could not keep my eyes off this snake. And I didn't want to do anything else but to watch this snake. And that happened for a long time. And mind you, I was at a dark place at that time with my transition in my life. And so that was my escape from like having to think of bad thoughts and shit. Like, oh man, it saved my life, man. And yeah, that's when it all started. But I was very, very scared. Like not scared, but I just knew I didn't. I knew I didn't. Oh, excuse me. I knew I was not going to be working with the ball python when I first, like, I knew green tree pythons were not ball pythons in a sense, right? Because I already had like 8 ball pythons, and so I knew I wanted more ball pythons. When I got my first chondro, I was like, holy shit! Like, I was so just worried about getting this thing like down. I want to know how to take care of this thing. First and foremost, I didn't want to fear it, and I feared Mimi for like fucking a whole year and a half. Like, this snake fucking hated me because I kept it over multiple bulbs. Like, she had a red bulb, she had a fucking day bulb. Like, so
she
bad.
was a baby when you got her, or what? She was
a
already
neonate.
changed?
Yeah, she was like barely. Yeah, she was barely like a year. I would say she's barely a year old when I got her. And dude, good experience. Smashed right off the get go, eating really well, and I kept her like shit. I kept her in a fucking zoo med, like a one of those tanks with the screen tops. And fucking, I baked her, bro. But like, luckily she lived. I don't know how. It shows you how strong BX can be. But once I adjusted her temps, like once I figured out, like, dude, don't make it so hot, she became the nicest snake in the world. And once I found out I could hold my green.
Hey, shout out to your wife, by the way, man. She pulled you off from being that dollar store drug dealer that you was, and she said, "Look, dog." She grabbed you by your collar and said, "Look, man, I need to get some sense into you."
No girl could do that, bro. No girl could do that but her, bro. She's the only one who could do that.
You know what I'm saying?
Not even my mom, my sister, all my exes.
She peeped it. She said, "Look, you can't support me off these nickel and dimes, fam. you gotta get your shit together."
She was the first.
We need a good one in our lives.
She was the first one to tell me. She was the first one to tell me you got 2 options. All right, you either do what you're doing and continue to do that, and I'm out. Like, she's like, I'm out, or
get out of there,
or you switch it up, and I'll stick around. And mind you, she was the first girl I ever met that had no daddy, mommy issues. Like, she's the total package, bro. The total educated. You know what I mean? Like, has a she's the total package. I'm so lucky, man. Shout out to my wife.
Yeah, she poured you out.
Yeah, she tops anything I have in this room, anything in my life. Doesn't top my wife. She's number 1. Even you, Leo. Sorry, bro. Take a seat, little homie.
So that what put Mimi. That put Mimi at almost 8 years old now.
Yeah. So okay. So what is it? So 2006. So yeah, she's fuck, dude. That's crazy to say. Now she's given me 2 clutches, and
tell me. Before we get to the clutches, tell me about all the fuck ups you had with the beginning, because I know you had the fucked up shares, you had the bad enclosures. What's up? What happened? At the beginning, I know you put it through hell.
Yeah, man. So like,
we all do it.
We all do it, right?
I did it.
Yeah. So one of the things also that stopped me from going so ham into green tree pythons is because I thought to myself, well, damn, these all are going to need some sort of enclosure like this, right? I thought to myself, and I'm like, that's going to be expensive, and I can't afford that. And then once I became homies with Forrest, I remember, I don't know. Oh, he was FaceTiming me. And I saw, and he was pulling out these Kofi Out Island. Like, dude, he had a lemon tree. Bro, he had his collection, bro, at one point was so ridiculous. Unfortunately, it's all dead mostly. But he was whipping all this shit out of Sterilite tubs, like out of fucking Target tubs. And I was like, hey, show me how you keep those. Oh, he's like, I keep it just like this. And he had like 26 of these fucking tubs on a metal rack. And I'm like, how do you heat? And then he had like a heat tape going along the back. And I'm like, why does that look? I was like, that looks so simple. And so I thought to myself, dude, maybe I could do this too. And at the time, I forgot what other species I was dabbling in. Oh, mangroves. So before I started going ham on the chondros, I was getting my hands wet with Boega species, like a lot of crazy different species. But my biggest sought after one was the mangrove cat snake. Fucking was obsessed with it, right? Exantic ones, really high black ones, like with no yellow on it. So, anyways, I had connections with an importer, and he was fucking putting me on. Now, once I saw how Forrest was keeping those, and he put it all down and how I could do it, I asked my importer, can you get any chondros? And goddamn, was he getting chondros, man. And I want to say, I always say, this whole side of this wall, all these females, all came from him. And they've all been in this collection for over 5 years. And Half of them giving me clutches already. So, bro, that's it. It sucks because I started cheap. I started the bare minimum on how I could keep them, and I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that at all. But I just did what I saw what Forrest was doing, and Forrest was my boy. And mind you, I didn't know till after he passed away that he didn't have the best. Well, actually, I kind of knew that before he passed away. But like, even though he was my boy and I did a lot of things he did, he also could have made some better husbandry type moves as well. Like, we're all not perfect, right? But either way, I just did what I thought I could do without having to spend so much money. And it did work out. Okay, I will say, even though I put them in tubs, they all fucking thrived. They all did really well. My very first clutch came out of this blue sarong out of a 41 quart tub. Now, mind you, she didn't give me a prelay shed. She fucking laid it all over the place.
I mean, tubs ain't bad. I got a female that every time I try to move her to a nice enclosure, she stopped eating, and she kept the bread.
Huh?
That's she gave me my clutch this year.
Yeah, so I got a male sarong that I think I'm gonna put back in a tub.
Yeah, when I put in a regular enclosure, nice PVC, she stopped eating.
Like I
put it back in the tub, she eat the next day.
I personally prefer keeping males in tubs. I personally, like, you know, I mean, they don't need all that space. And first and foremost, they're usually paired up, for me at least. So,
I mean, that makes sense. I keep my males in tubs or cubes. The females are going 3x2x2s. Mm-hmm. So I'll give them more space than I will the males, even though they don't fucking use it. But
the males don't.
Yeah, I don't use it.
Males be waiting to fuck.
Yeah, they just.
So you talked about
when the coochie coming in.
So you talked about Forrest husbandry. So like, learning off the husbandry, like, I guess shit. We could fast forward to now. How was when you started like getting green tree pythons from your import and shit? How was your husbandry at first, and how was your quarantine at first? And can you talk about that, your quarantine from then until now?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna say my quarantine was the best. My quarantine was like the washroom, which was still kind of a room within a room. Like, it was still kind of like it wasn't exposed right there with all the main shit, but it was just on the side in a different room, which is the washer and dryer. So I would always keep things in there for 3 months. I always thought 3 months, because here's the thing with how I think with imports. Okay, yeah, of course things can happen down the road, but you have a good sense. You have a good sense what's happening with that snake, the way it eats, the way it shits, the way it sheds, the way it drinks. And if you're good at paying attention to like behaviors and how a snake should behave, I think 3 months is good enough. I think, right? But if there's any red flags, if there's like a head that's drooping over, or it's like drooling or something weird, obviously that snake should never leave quarantine, right? And you got to make a fucking call to leave it there. But I always saw these things like before they entered my room. They did the checklist, which is, like I said, eat, shit, shed, drink, all that in a row. Like, perch like a fucking batch of bananas. Shout out to Cody Bartolini, but he always told me, he's like, dude, a chondro should be perched perfect like a batch of bananas, man. And that's how you know that chondro's okay. Now you see some with the tail hanging, and like I'm telling you right now, none of that's good. None of that's good. And yeah, you should be concerned. And I'll tell you that because I've had chondros like that, and they never made it. It sucks.
One thing about quarantine, I think that you realize is not just about Nido. There's all types of things that these animals come in with that they got to reacclimate to in their new environment, and bacteria and things like that they got to shed. You got to give them time to do that.
100%. Yeah.
And then what's your quarantine? So what's your quarantine like now, like compared to then? Because I know shit.
I don't add shit. I don't have. I mean, there's nothing to quarantine. Right. If I had to quarantine something, I'll take it in the house or something. But I don't. There's literally nothing to quarantine at this point. So I don't have a quarantine because I don't want to quarantine anything. I'm good. And mind you, if I get something, it's coming from Bill. It's coming from Sock. And yeah, they would tell me to quarantine, but I'm good. It's coming from them. I'm straight.
Why you think why you think that?
Because I know how they do things. I've been in their collection.
I ain't talking about them, but like, why you think it something will happen in transit? Where, say, if your animal hypothetically speaking, your animal get a label, some FedEx employee accidentally takes the label off there and they get lost in transit for 3 days.
Right.
And then it comes to you 3 days later and it's alive. But it's been sitting in 60-degree weather for maybe for 2.5 days. When 12 hours after the heat pad went out, whatever heating device it went.
Right.
Why wouldn't you quarantine that?
Well, because
even though it's coming from a reputable source.
Well, I mean, I have like, okay, for instance, if I had something where I felt like it was in a situation where it was a few days or something like that, well, I would soak it. I have a process first and foremost. Like anything that comes into this room, drinks, like it soaks, it does its thing. I would assess it, like, you know what I mean? I would look at it if that was the case. We're talking a one-off scenario too. We're not talking something that happened. I've never had to deal with that. If I had to deal with that, then I would have to okay, I guess I have to make sure this thing's okay. I highly doubt it's gonna get mites, you know what I mean, or anything like that. I'm a fucking pro at spotting mites, but even that I would still soak. Like I would still precautionarily soak it in Dawn soap. You give it a good soak and just look at it. Now, like I said, if it didn't look right, something was up, then no, I wouldn't keep it in the room. But we're talking. I only
asked that because the father, the sire to my clutch is owned by my dog, Mikey Marsh, and shit, that scenario, the same exact scenario happened to him. Like you wouldn't believe it. Probably like a 1 of a million chance. But if he didn't have a proper quarantine protocol, that male arrived with a respiratory infection because it had been in so much cold. You know what I'm saying? Shit was under 70, probably for 2.5 days, maybe a day and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
But if if he was, it came from somebody who bought it from Patrick.
So let me ask you this.
Well.
Let me ask you this. You're still concerned about that respiratory infection, even if you have a clean NIDO test for that snake? And because mind you, just like humans, people get colds, people get sick, right? Like I don't know if you saw the vlog I just dropped, but anyone, if they want to, go to my YouTube channel, The Trap Vlogs, and I went ahead and showed what happened to my Emerald Tree Boa project this year. Both my males.
I ain't catch that one.
Yeah, both my males got fucking RI, okay? Both of them. Now, it was due to a crazy drop in humidity. I was in New York doing a podcast, and one of the things I forgot to tell the keeper who was taking care of my shit was like heavily fucking soak them. And what happened was nobody sprayed them for like a week while I was gone. So temperatures weren't on point and the humidity wasn't on point. So both these males had a fucking really bad RI. I went through the motions, went to the vet. I got Baytril, put them in the incubator. One of my things too, if I ever see an RI or if I see any kind of thing, I take them straight to the incubator. They hit the incubator for like 48 hours. And if it's not that severe, that fucking that jaw or whatever goes back to normal within 24 to 48 hours in that incubator. Okay, that's how you can tell if you have a serious, like, severe RI.
For sure.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm just saying, not all RIs are like, oh my god, fuck, what are we gonna do? Like that is not the case. Now, mind you, there are
true, but
there are snakes
if
that
if you come in with an RI and if you don't catch that and you put that next to an animal,
I would never do that. No, like I said, that snake, if I got a snake in the box in the mail and it had a fucking that RI, hey, I mean, he's for sure hitting the incubator. I'm gonna see what happens. After that, he's gonna take a little bit of. But like I said, I don't need a whole designated room for that. I could use my goddamn living room and I'm straight. You know what I mean? Like I will put it in a Target tub and I'll have a heat. It's very easy for me to make it what I need to make it as far as quarantine.
No, I know. I don't got a designated room either, but like mine is right in my bedroom, so it's like right there next to me.
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like
my quarantine room is right here.
Area though.
Right.
You got an area though for your quarantine though. Like you designate.
I always got something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's even.
No, that's all I'm saying.
That's for anything, even in here. Like anything can happen in here. Like I can have an animal gets, like I said, like God forbid, like what happened last year with my 2 emerald males. Like, fuck, like that was. Like I had to pull them out of that room immediately, and I took them out. They went to the trap because back in my old room, the way I had it set up, this style room was inside the house, and that's where I had all these animals. And then I had the trap with that washroom, which was my quarantine room, and that's where that's why I separated it. I wanted everything separated. It's all separated, right? But I always had that washroom for whatever I had to put away. So yeah, I don't want to misinterpret. Like, I don't want anyone to think like, oh, if something's sick, I leave it there. Fuck no, that motherfucker's he's going to ICU. You know what I mean?
Right.
Intensive care.
Yeah. No, that's all I was saying.
So I got a question about your quarantine. Are there certain, like, you have a process, but what are the marks that they have to hit before they leave quarantine? Because, you know, it within 90 days, like, they have to do certain things before they leave.
Yeah, so here's the thing. First and foremost, I like to get them fed. Like, if I talk to the person who sent it and they're like, yeah, it's been a couple weeks since they eat, I want to feed them as soon as possible. I want to see I want to see how they eat, you know? And if they eat, they take, then that's the biggest check mark is how they eat, right? Obviously, the way they drink. Now, this is why I soak everything before I do anything. Once they get out of the box and I inspect, I soak them, okay? Not too much water, but just a little bit of water. I guarantee if you do that yourself, you're going to see them drink 9 out of 10 times. You're going to see them slow down. They're going to put their head down, and they're just going to chug. It's a real, like, subtle chug, but they're going to be chugging. And I feel like that has a lot to do with them being like, oh, all right, where we at? You know what I mean? Versus being dehydrated and just, like, stressed the fuck out. So that's my first and foremost move. And then get them settled, get them put away. I see how they perch. I see how they act. And then I feed them. And then once they feed, I see how they shit. I see what their shits look like. Trust me, I've had, back in the day where I was getting imports, I've had snakes shit out parasites that look like fucking movies from the aliens, bro. Like, it's nuts. Like, I've seen some weird, nasty shit.
Little worms.
Yeah, dude, I'm not, no, we're not talking. Hey, we're not talking little, Kino. I'm talking like they were like this big, bro, and they were like it was like strong arm stretch. Like, it was like, dude, it was creepy. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Almost, yeah, but to who? My wife ain't gonna come. My wife ain't coming.
He's great.
So, anyways, I'm a big, and also too, you can kind of tell how the water quality is and whatnot. With, you know, I just like looking at the shits, man. You can tell a lot by a shit, and so I look how this.
It's a shit monitor.
Yeah, shit monitor. Look at that shit. Call me crazy, bro, but that's what it comes down to sometimes.
No, you have to though. We joke about it, but you have to. You have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But anyways, yeah. So that, and also the shed. And once I get a couple of good cycles of that, which is like a good 3 months, like if I get a back-to-back solid shed in nothing but back-to-back feeding trials, and the shits are on point, just a typical good-looking snake. And I nido test it, and the nido, obviously nido test, right? I don't fucking, and anything that comes in this room has a nido test for sure, 110%. So that's also a big thing too. But mind you, that's why I only go through people who do that, you know. So, anyways, yeah. So those are the biggest check marks. I would say, Trav, is eating, shitting, shedding, drinking, perching. You know what I mean? Those things.
Those are the same as mine. Same as mine. I think mine have a vet visit too, though. Like, I gotta, like, every one of them, especially the imports that come in. Yeah. They all gotta get a vet visit.
I think it's smart, because basically what you would want to do at a vet is, I mean, if you got something that you don't know where the history is of it, especially if it's an import, you got to get it treated. You know what I mean? Like, you got to just get it hit with either flagyl or not flagyl. What is it that they use? The Panicure. Panicure, or what's the other one? But I used to use Panicure. Panicure is my go-to for treating parasites, or even precautionary, like just as a biosecurity measure for parasites. And you could actually get Panicure yourself at any ranch feed store, at any horse or ranch store. You could get Panicure yourself, and that's when I started treating.
Yeah, Tractor Supply here. We got a Tractor Supply.
Exactly. So so I mean, that's basically it, man. And man, I have no interest on adding any imports or anything like that. I'm good. I mean, I'm so locked in at this point, man. I'm good.
Well,
right,
I mean,
so you get it. Go ahead, Chad. My fault.
No, I was just gonna say. Well, I mean, that's a good thing.
My fault,
especially with with imports, man. In quarantine, because it's important, man. I've seen some weird shit with imports, but they always seem to balance out, man. They always seem to balance out, but you got to give.
And Jack, before you was married, you used to be on Figueroa a lot. I said before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You going Figueroa?
No, never. I'm in San Diego, bro. We don't got Figueroa in San Diego.
Get jiggy on Figgy.
Yeah, no, man. That's the real jungle. That's the real jungle up there, bro. I gotta say, San Diego is way more paradise like down here. Trust me, we got bad play. Southeast is no joke, and yeah, my sister kind of grew up with them fucking essays, and I seen a lot of shit, and I know where it's active around here, but LA is a whole nother beast, bro. I'm very proud where I'm from, and I don't think a lot of LA people could say that.
Well, because they're all over the place too, and it's so many different things going on in LA.
LA's no joke, man. So don't get me wrong, it's not all like that. I got my homie Tim. Shout out to homie Tim. He keeps fucking some really sick emeralds. He lives right there in LA, and I love going to a spot. And, I got a couple homies that just are meant to live in LA. It's just not easy, and shit could go down at any time.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Majoros, you're gonna stop calling me Slick Charles, bro. I ain't Slick Charles.
Seriously, so everybody, so all your green trees, you got these green trees rocking. They pass your quarantine process. How you get prepared for the breeding season? How you preparing your males? How you preparing your females? How's that going down? I know you don't feed rats. You only feed mice. I know. So talk to me.
What? I got one question before he answers that one. I want to ask him about like collection
ain't that what you told me? That's what you told me when you interviewed me.
Yeah, bro, you got the wrong guy, G. That's not me, bro. I go rat. I'm rat. I do want to implement mice. Don't get me wrong. I've been thinking a lot lately. We'll break this all down right now. But yeah, man, I'm naturally a rat guy to all the chondros for sure, all day.
Okay.
And I've always had a bad habit of going a little too big, I think. And I've been getting better with it, but that's because of the fucking ball pythons. I'm just, you can just go ape shit with those guys, which isn't good. But I had bad habits, man. Like a lot of the habits I had in the beginning, other than the husbandry, like the heat, is I fed way too heavy. I fed way too big, just because I thought, like, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? And until I got tapped in with people putting me on game and like, dude, no, you kind of want them to be slimmer going into breeding and whatnot, but luckily I was able to adjust all that before I even paired anything up. You know what I mean? But right now, man, I'm glad you brought this up about what I'm doing to prepare for my chondro season coming up in 2024. Well, I'm still doing shit now, and I have 4 pairings that are locking right now. And I don't know what to do. I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm very confused only because it's kind of odd, right? We're going into September, and that seems super early or super late for where I'm at or for anyone, right? But at the end of the day, like, he's handling, you know what I mean? And I don't know if it's because I have my AC in here. I've had my AC in here for the last 2 months, and the very first couple of months I had no AC in here, so the room got a little warmer than what it typically was. But when I had the AC in here, it's controlled, and it's just always a certain temp now. And ever since I had the AC in here, these motherfuckers been going to town, pound town. You know what I mean? So, and I'm just like, goddamn, they're eating, they're going through the motions. So I'm just, right now, I'm leaving them be. Now I have 4 other females that are ready to be paired. They're on that time where, like Mimi, right? Like Mimi, she took last year off. This and the first 2 clutches she laid literally on the same day, April 17th, both times. Okay, so I feel like she's like, if I keep her how she is, she should do everything the way she has done the last 2 times before. And that.
What happened?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We can hear you. The microphone went out.
MJ, your mic went out.
Hey, your mic went out, MJ. See, that wasn't Sal. I thought that was Sal. That wasn't Sal. That was your ass, MJ. MJ bought that microphone off Figueroa.
Get jiggy on Figgy.
Get jiggy on Figgy.
But while MJ comes back, man, we want to appreciate y'all. So many people for coming through tonight. We having a good time so far. We're gonna try to stay on rails. By the way. Yeah, we're gonna try to stay on the rails. Unlike last week, they just went completely off the rails.
I don't know, man. We're going good. We'll see. We'll see how this train goes.
No, we're gonna try to stay on the rails, Keenan.
But shout out to our sponsor. Shout out to our sponsor. While we wait.
Hey,
Shout out to
don't ever disrespect my $600 mic again, bro.
You got it on Figueroa.
Ain't
I'm saying, look. Hey, look.
I caught off
I only said
Amazon.
that because look, in the interview with Sal, you was dissing AirPods, and my AirPods, you know what I'm saying?
Your AirPods, no disrespect.
They've been crispy.
No, hold on.
They've
No
been
disrespect.
crispy.
No, listen.
Have
No
they been
disrespect
crispy
because
or
this
have
is
they
your
not been
channel.
crispy?
But your
That's what I'm
AirPods are
saying.
trash, dog. Your AirPods are fucking trash, dog. They're clicky. You got to get rid of those, Kino. I'm telling you
But
right now.
mine haven't been clicking the whole time.
Yes,
the
you
whole,
have.
The whole,
Yes, you
the
have.
whole year.
Yes, you
No.
have. Yes,
To
you
who?
have.
To who?
Bro, it sounds like
To
you got
you.
potato chips. It sounds like you got
To
potato
you.
chips.
To you, MJ.
It sounds like you got
To
potato
you,
chips.
MJ.
If I hear
To
it, they
you.
hear it. Hey, Kino,
No.
you're being very stubborn right now.
Put
You're
it
being
in the
very
chat.
stubborn. You're being
Put it
stubborn.
in the chat.
Go back
Put
to
it
the
in the
beginning.
chat.
Go back to the beginning. You'll hear potato chips in the beginning. Go
Put it in
ahead.
the chat. Hey, who got out of this? Whose mic has been the most bogus this whole time?
Oh my
MJ's
God.
or mine? Leave it up to the chat.
Never that.
Leave it up to the chat. Don't ask me.
Go ahead, bro. Go listen to all my other podcasts. Go listen to all my other podcasts.
You got yours off Figueroa.
Compare my audio. Hey, since you want to go there now, Kino, here we go. Compare my audio to Kino's audio on all my other podcasts. I want to hear that.
You got yours off Figueroa.
Just stop, Kino.
It happened on Monday.
You're gonna set yourself up for disaster.
It happened on Monday with Sal.
Put your fake glasses down. Put them away. Put your 99-cent glasses down, bro. All right.
Ain't nothing fake about me, MJ. Ain't nothing fake about me, MJ. That's you,
I'm just
MJ.
kidding. I want no smoke. No, come back, Trav.
No,
don't leave me alone.
MJ.
Don't leave me alone.
No, MJ.
Hey, man, I let y'all go.
MJ.
No, don't leave me alone.
Ain't nothing about me fake, MJ. Ain't nothing about me fake.
I'm just kidding.
This in person.
I forgot. I thought I was talking to Kino in OC. I'm talking to Kino in Chicago. My bad.
So I got a question for you, MJ.
You get this real neat.
That I didn't get to. As far as your collection acclimation, when you add something new, like what do you wait to see before you start getting to the point of saying that you're going to start breeding these animals?
Like when I think they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Well, first and foremost, I want to have the animal in my possession for a while. Can you hear me?
Randy, I'm 100% black, Randy. I don't do that, Randy. Randy, you wow. You wow.
Okay, hold on.
See, that's that 50. That's only half of whatever you mix with, Randy. Stop doing that. Stop it. Control that. Go ahead.
Damn. All right. Honestly, I'm all about maturity. Like if I know the animal has the age, it has the weight, it's been with me long enough where I know the history of the meals and all that good stuff. I mean, that's what it comes down to, man. I mean, it's maturity, bro. And if I have a snake that's well over 4 or 5 years old and I haven't paired her up, it's all up to me. It's basically good to go, you know? Now I will tell you with the males, like I will say with the males, one thing I don't want to ever do again is pair a male too young. And I know guys do that. I know some people pull that shit off. And like, you know, I got homies that are just gangster at that shit. Me, I'd rather pair a male like 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. Just because there's like he's going to be solid. He's going to be big enough. If he wants to shut off food for fucking however many months, you don't have to trip, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just, like I said, maturity, man. It's all about maturity. So age, weight, and how long I've had them is what it determines.
Okay. So back to Kino's question about breeding. As far as getting adjusted, do you temperature cycle and food cycle?
Man, so a lot of this stuff I'm really starting to take serious now, and I didn't the first couple of years because I was just like, okay, heat, feeding, you know what I mean. But all this shit I want to say does, you know, especially if you want to, you know, we're talking about Mimi, right? Like how she's dialed in. Well, I was able to get her on a routine where she felt comfortable to do what she wanted to do, and I think that's very important. And sometimes, if not all the time, it comes down to cycling. Any cycling, you know what I mean?
And light cycling too.
Yeah. What?
Light cycling.
Light.
Yeah,
oh,
light
dude,
cycling.
I feel weird about that. I mean, I want to say, here's the thing. I'm trying to scratch out all like, okay, if that's what it could be, then scratch that out. And that's why these are turned off right now, right? Normally I would have these on if I wanted to, but these are on 12 hours now. Like 12 hours on, 12 hours off, just like everything else, right? And I just try to naturally give them their peace in the dark. Like that way they just, okay, I feel safe, nothing on me. You know what I mean? But if I feel like
how was that change from the beginning? What was your life cycle like? Was you not life cycling at all?
Well, I mean, I never really had lights until I had the focus
Okay.
cubes, right? And the focus cubes, I mean, like I said, like I've had this setup for over a year now. And if you go back to when I first had it, the lights, I would have 3-hour podcasts where it's like 9:00 my time and all the lights are on. I just wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like, okay, I want to kind of give them, you know, just like humans, right? Like we're routine where we're daytime, we do our thing, nighttime, we do our thing. Same with them. I notice nighttime, you'll see them go all drink. They'll all go do like what they do at nighttime. They feel like they're nocturnal. Like, I don't know about you guys, but all my fucking snakes are nocturnal. You know, you have some that might want to move around during the day, but for the most part, the shit cracks off at night. At nighttime is where it all goes down, you know? So yeah,
that's what I started doing. I actually started doing 14 off.
Yeah,
give them 10.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because like once the
I noticed the males and the females they're a lot more active, man.
Yeah, once I hit daylight savings time, I switch it off, or in early October. That's what I switched it off.
Yeah. So I just feel like some sort of a, you know, routine is like that is good. But I want to say the number one thing as far as any kind of cycling, I want to say is the food cycling. I think it all comes down to the food, man. Just like anything else, like how you breed anything else, it's how you hit them with food and when you hit them with food. And obviously they need the locks, right? So I think all this cycling talk is important, but nothing tops food cycling. I think that you have to have that shit down, number one, I think, personally.
Yeah.
I didn't really do food cycling the first time. I just did temperature cycling.
So like also this, Trav, like how many successful clutches have you had in a year?
2.
Shit, his first 2 clutches. He almost 50 babies.
And how long ago is that?
What was it, last year?
Right.
Yeah.
22.
So let's say, do you ever plan on going for like 4 or 5 clutches if you can? Like, is that your goal to like shoot for higher clutches?
Nah.
You want to stay at 2 the whole time?
Yeah. Like I got a lot of stuff to do. Like after this is over, I got to do homework. I can't spend my life with snakes.
So if you don't mind me asking, what's going on with your parent? Like when do you expect your next clutch if it all works out?
I don't know. They're pairing now. I got a pair going now, and then I got another pair that's going in October 1 October.
Right.
So
I'm just saying, like, this whole thing with cycling helps you know more. And what I mean by that, there's a lot less guessing. Once you have like a certain cycling down for these animals, and I know this because Socrates, like this motherfucker, I've seen him predict shit, and I'm like, how do you? And he's like, well, because watch what happens after this meal, and whatever the fuck. Like, it's crazy how you start to know more and guess less when you start doing these like cycling things. You know what I mean? And mind you, like that's just why I never cycled anything. I was just like, well, whatever happens, happens. And whatever, you know, and I'm not saying what you got was luck at all. Like, you did what you did right. But if we're talking numbers, we're talking like trying to guess. Like, if you don't want to guess, for instance, you want to know when your snake's going to go. That's why these motherfuckers believe in cycling so hard, because they could just tell you. Like, they'll tell you straight up. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, I agree with that. Like, if you want more clutches, I would say cycle and like spread males around. But I would go for a bigger clutch. So I wouldn't spread a male around. I wouldn't spread them around at all. And I guess it kind of what I've learned from these two is like, I'll leave that male with her for a year.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's because you just don't know when it's going to happen, right? So the reason why you're doing that is I'm doing that well. You know what's funny? The reason why I have these males even locking right now is because I just kept them together. I intentionally paired them up in fucking March, April. And I thought that's when everything was going to go down. And guess what happened in March and April? Nothing. They did fucking nothing. Nothing at all. Now here we are in September, about to be September. And now they're going to fucking work. You know what I mean? So, and that's because I just, you know, I moved them. You know, I'm in a new room. I just moved from a new house like 7 months ago. So I'm just like you. I'm rolling the dice. I'm like, what the fuck? Whatever happens, happens, right? But I would like to get to a point where once I get a clutch from a female, I want to do what I got to do to make sure she stays on track with that, you know? And I think a lot of other guys who are so gung-ho about these food cycling and stuff is because they're doing repeat pairings and they're trying to keep these these females also on the same schedule the year before. And the way you do that is by food cycling.
So I get that. Like if you want to keep it on the same schedule, but I think you could pop a clutch any time of year. So I don't necessarily.
You have two options. I think you have two chances in a year. I think you have the beginning or like it's cooler in the beginning of the year, and then when it starts to get cooler after summer or during that summer is what I think. I think you have two opportunities. I think. What do you think?
So I don't think that only because people can pop a clutch at any month. Like people pop.
Oh no,
clutches
shit!
in the US.
Patrick done had a couple clutches, man. He done had clutches down there.
Hey, where is Patrick, dude? What the fuck?
I don't know. He probably somewhere playing with bug spray or some shit, man.
Is he posing for his next fucking portrait?
I'll tell you this. With my second clutch, man, I had that ovulation in like early September, and then with my first clutch, I had an ovulation in January. So I don't necessarily think that it matters really. I think that if you got a plan as far as temperature cycling or food cycling, whatever it is, like there's a window where you can get it to happen, especially if you can watch that female. Like I think that anything besides that, you probably need to do ultrasounds. But to me, as long as you stick to a plan and say, okay, well these two, they're going to enter this period where they're not going to eat for a while, and then they're going to start eating smaller meals, and we're going to drop temperatures this way. I think that you can get a clutch. I think you can get a clutch out of any pair, if they're willing to do it.
Yeah.
But I think that
the biggest. Sorry to cut you off, Trav. But the biggest thing is like for me, it's the first female, the first clutch. Like when is it her time? Like when does she feel ready to drop the clutch? And that's the biggest guessing game for me because I don't have an ultrasound, and I know I should have one. I only want to get an ultrasound just for the chondros, but mind you. They ain't no walk in the park, man. What I mean, ultrasounding chondros, bro, is not easy. You get good at it after a while, but we're talking like a lot smaller fucking follicles for some reason compared to a fucking ball python that you're searching for. Mind you, green tree pythons don't do as well with ultrasounds as the ball python. Yeah. Like you got some motherfuckers that just they're gonna tag you. You're gonna get bit. You know what I mean?
I thought about getting an ultrasound, but
I think
for me it'll take it. I like the guessing part of it, man. I like that riding that roller coaster with the chondros, man. I done had a female, I had two females give me clutches, two different ones. I had one female I've bred 4 straight years and they gave me shit. So yeah. I like riding that. I mean, I never thought I was a masochist, but I guess I am. But I like the guessing part of it. I don't like
it's fun.
I guess for lack of a better term, to play God. Like so I know when this female building a follicles, let me throw this male in there and do this and do this. Because I don't want to be a farm. You know what I'm saying? I want to.
But let's do this. So let's check this.
I want to be a private dude who be tight shit, not somebody who just spreading a bunch of shit out. I guess.
Let's paint this picture real quick.
That's just my view on it.
Kino, let's paint this picture real quick. Let's just say and pretend like, okay, the only male.
Paint a picture for me. Come ahead, player.
Can you hear me, guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, so check it out. Pretend, Kino, like you have the sickness. Like let's say the sickness is still here, and you have that male. Like you have something that fucking loked out, right? But you have like 3 females. Like you have females that you really want this fool to go to. Nobody else, right? Yeah. That's why you'd want to use an ultrasound, okay? Because you don't want to waste pairing this fool when if there's no follicles or if the follicles aren't big enough, right? That's when it would come down to you needing an ultrasound so you don't burn this fool out. Or I mean, I get it. If you don't want to use him for all 3, you'd rather not share him and just keep him one-on-one, which I prefer that. If you have males where you can just keep things one-on-one, that's my game plan. Hopefully, if I could get there.
Males. I got males.
I got nothing but females. I got so many females, man. I got a lot of females. But anyways, it's just it's like I said. But I'm like you guys. I don't want to spread a male out. I don't want to have to fucking. I'd rather keep like a couple like that. You guys do your thing this year, and that's just you guys' thing, and that's it. So I'm with you. I think that's the reason why I haven't gotten an ultrasound because I have not been in that position where I really, really need an ultrasound because I can still guess and be all right. You know what I mean?
Also, the thing about chondros is the female chondros, they're almost like a little sperm bank, right? So like you would think that you would want to have them paired with that male for as long as possible. to get as much sperm as possible, so that
Yeah.
when it is time for them, when their follicles are at that right moment, they can go ahead and they can get a bunch of eggs fertilized. And
Well,
that's why, to me personally, I let them just go.
so so check this out, Trav. So Trav, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, you would think that naturally, right? You want to get as much as sperm in a female just to ensure the size of the clutch, but all that shit don't matter, right? Because, and the reason why I'm about to say this is because the way ball python breeders do things, and the way ball python breeders, like the ones who are, because in the ball python game they have like a fucking $40,000 male who's like the king male, and they need to put that to like 7-8 females, and they all do it successfully, right? Because they have ultrasounds. But guess how many locks these males are doing per female before they ovulate? Just guess.
How many?
Just guess.
I don't know. 3?
What would you guess, Kino?
For ball pythons, I don't know. Maybe one, maybe two.
Two locks. So you're not, that snake first and foremost isn't paired there long. You know what I mean? But that's it. 2 locks. So how much sperm are they really getting just from those 2 locks? And they're still getting 12, 13 clutch eggs, which is a lot for a ball python. That's a shit ton. But I'm just saying, like,
obviously they getting a lot,
But-
because look how many motherfucking ball pythons that these expos.
but what I'm saying, like, that's
they getting a lot. They taking a lot of nut in.
That's why I don't think it's not the amount of sperm, it's the timing when you put the sperm. It's all about when those follicles are at a certain point and they need that sperm. Other than that, the other sperm is, I mean, I get they can retain it, which is good, right? But you don't, those follicles need those sperm at a certain point in time. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to.
But here's my thing is, like, if you tell me, like, what would you say the average clutch of a green tree python clutch is? How many eggs do you think it is?
So say that one more time. I'm sorry.
We talking about captive bred versus imported.
Either captive bred or imports.
What was the question? I'm sorry. I didn't hear that, Travis. Can you say it one more time?
How many eggs do you think are an average clutch for green tree pythons?
Average? I would say like 14, 15.
Okay. Well, the first one was 21 and the second one was 26. And I had them together for a long time.
But that's just those are just 2 clutches, bro. I'm sorry, but like we're only basing stuff off of 2 clutches. Like that could be a fluke. Like no offense, bro, but you can't determine how things are gonna be off 2 clutches. You can't.
I wouldn't say that it's a fluke, but I would say this, that there's a lot of factors that go into it. And I would say that if you look at most clutches, when people are spreading males around or they're only doing, a male for a week or 2, like, those clutches are generally smaller.
If you could give it more than 2 locks, by all means. I'm just saying it. I'm a firm believer on the timing on when they get the locks. But
timing also can give you slugs too. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, right? So I don't know if you guys, anyone out there who's familiar with this legendary snake that Socrates keeps, White Diamond, right? I don't know if you guys heard of White Diamond, but he's yet to get a clutch from White Diamond. And he, he's the first believer on why he knows why. But let me kind of break down the last reason why she gave slugs. And I was very confused because I was there the day after she ovulated, and he's like, White Diamond just ovulated, and I'm like, can I see pictures? And I'm like, dude, aren't you stoked? And he's like, she's gonna give me slugs. I'm like, how the fuck do you know she's gonna give me slugs? And he's like, well, I know because how big the ovulation wasn't that big, and I know because by the time I paired the male, she was already at a certain follicle point, like she was almost too far into it before she actually got the lock, because Optimus Prime was doing fucking work with like 2 other females. By the time he got the White Diamond, it wasn't where it needed to be at. And because of that, it was too late. It was too late. Ovulation didn't go the distance where it should have, and slugged out like 17 slugs and he called it. He predicted it. And it was fucking crazy.
But don't that give credence to what Trav was just saying about spreading your male too thin?
Yeah, I'm not saying you should. Didn't I say I think one-on-one is good? I think one-on-one.
You just said the amount of locks, you shouldn't take that long. You said don't think that take that long for basically the insemination to happen.
No, I'm telling you that it doesn't take much. Like if the male is giving you 100% good sperm, if everything's good on that male, you don't need to keep the male in there, or you don't need 120 fucking lots. All you need is a couple good lots. You know what I mean? Now, as far as spreading that male around, I mean, I don't have a dangerous game, but and Stock obviously realized what happened when it came down to it. So yeah, I mean, I
just feel like this. This is how I feel, and this is my opinion, and solely my opinion. But I think,
and this is not to talk too much on Sock business and what Sock got going on.
He ain't tripping. That's my boy. He ain't tripping.
But my opinion is that if they can retain so much sperm for so long and it's viable inside them, I would give them as much sperm as they could possibly hold.
Yeah,
like as much as they could possibly hold for as long as they could possibly hold it, because follicle growth,
You believe
sheds,
that in life too.
Like they're still gonna retain that sperm.
Yeah. You think old sperm is good to retain though?
Yeah, they can retain sperm for like a year.
Yeah, but do you think that's good though? Like, okay, let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you another question. Okay, so let's just say you have a pairing go down, nothing happens that year, right? She doesn't ovulate, but for whatever reason, the next year she does, but she uses that sperm from last year. Do you think that clutch? Do you feel that clutch is going to be 100% good?
I mean, it could be. If the sperm is still alive, yeah, it could work.
But no, you're not 100% on you. But you don't feel 100%. You can't say 100% though, right? Is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying 100%. But I'm also saying. But I'm also saying this. I'm also saying this.
No, not all retained sperm is good sperm. Let me just make that straight. Not all retained sperm is going to be good sperm. But hold on. You know?
I'm also saying this. Like, I'll leave him with her for a year.
Yeah.
So if they're locking for a year, like that's just what they're going to do.
So a lot of this is so situational too. You need to realize that. Like a lot of this is dependent on it depends on the breeder, it depends what your situation is. Do you need to put multiple males to multiple females, or I'm sorry, do you need to put a male to multiple females? But I encourage not to have to do that. And if you don't have to worry about putting a male to multiple females, none of this shit matters, because like Trav says, you keep it together and you're good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I believe it's all situational based. I believe it's situation based as far as environment, ambient temperature and humidity, light, time of the year.
I meant barometric pressure. I meant pairing wise, bro. I think you're taking it.
No, I'm saying like that has a huge influence on pairing. That has a huge influence on it.
I know that just wasn't the situation I was talking about.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I think it has a huge influence like other things do, but I also feel like just leaving them together works. Trying to figure it out and wait, as far as, trying to time it, like, I believe that's too much. Like, I'll be honest with you. I don't count ovulation. Like once they decide to stop eating, 20 days after that, they got a lay box. Because it's just too much to count.
Why don't you highlight Jeff Hoshile's comment there real quick?
I'll highlight it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shout out Jeff Hoshile.
What's up, Jeff? Well, there's this one too.
It's definitely situational. Definitely appreciate you, D.
I think that it works like this, right? I think that you would like to try to get everything down pat and put it, on a schedule and through metrics. But I think sex with animals, the same thing with sex with humans, is more art than science in a lot of cases. So it's just going to be basically about how you want to do it and how you want it to turn out.
Sometimes it ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. But I think that, all in all, as far as the way that people keep animals, as far as the breeding season goes, from that I've seen a lot of different ways. But as long as you're getting successful clutches, I mean, that's all that really matters.
True. All right, so you got you got clutches. So now you walked us through a breeding season. Now you got eggs, MJ. So how has the incubation been going, and how has that progressed from the beginning to now?
Yeah, I think the biggest Achilles heels for me with green tree pythons has been the incubator, man. I've always had a different plan for incubation as far as what they're going into. And that's kind of been always like my fucking thing. I feel like that's my biggest, like, I don't want to say problem, but it's been my biggest reason why I feel like I've had setbacks, especially this year. My biggest setback this year was feeling comfortable putting the chondros in a walk-in incubator that I just got going on and whatnot. Like, I think the incubator was running for like 3 months before I got the chondro clutch. I saw a slight fluctuation, but where I had the chondros at, it was a solid 87.2. And it was, you know, I felt great with that. But mind you, man, like I was in there a lot. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't I don't think I was too ready to put the chondros in that walking. But that being said, this year I literally have a designated chondro baiter now. Like, I have an incubator solely for the chondros. Well, half for the chondros, half for the monitors, but it's the lower temp shit, and it's really well controlled. And so, yeah, I mean, this year I'm ready. I mean, this year or going into next year, my game plan is to just fucking incubate them the same way temp wise as I was doing last year. Or I don't know, might go a little bit warmer, man. Because Bill Stiegel, shout out to Bill Stiegel, he does his shit like almost close to 88. And I don't know. And like it's crazy because I have so much going on, but I have not really like pinned the needle on the temperature number I want to go with on my next clutch. So maybe you guys can let's talk about that. I mean, Trav, what's your go-to, Trav, like temp wise?
87.8 the first couple days. That's what I did. I did it the first time and the second time, 87.8. Then, you know, after like 3-4 days, I dropped it down to 87.5. The last 2 weeks, well, not the last 2 weeks, like the last month, I dropped it down like a tenth of a degree, all the way to the end when, you know, it was like 86.8. If I keep looking at it and you know, I don't really count it. I don't count a lot of things. Like, so I just went in there and said, I'm just gonna drop it. So that was how it went. So at the end, it was 86.8. The first clutch they pipped on day 51. Second clutch started pipping on day 49. It was the same process. And I'll be honest with you, I think that I don't think it mattered the temperature. I think just the first clutch was half Biot and the second clutch was Sarongs. They were two very, very different clutches anyway. So, like, I don't necessarily think that matters as much as long as you stay inside your temperature range.
Yeah.
So I think that what you said about your temperature range, how you had it at first, I think that's fine. Like, I think that Bill's works for him, but you also got to understand this because Bill said this himself. It took him years to dial that incubator in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think that also,
like 5 years. He's had 5 breeding seasons it took with him.
Yeah,
Before
but I also
100%
think
comfortable in it.
that different incubators work better at different temps.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Every incubator has its unique like thing about it, you know, and that's why I think you got to figure that out. I think the very
I think that takes time.
I did mine 87.4.
I think the very first
last 10 days.
The very first time I ever had a clutch, and the very first, I mean, because like I said, the first Neo that did come out of an egg for me took meals and it went well. Like he just died of another reason. But I cooked him at 87.5. And I think 87.5 is like the more comfortable number I'm looking at, to be honest.
Yeah, but also this MJ, like, you're in San Diego, like your temperature in that range, it might need to be different than anybody else's.
No, I mean, how much different is it? What do you mean as far as different? Well, I have a controlled temperature room, so how's that much different?
So because your actual environment is different. So like here in Texas, people are incubating their snakes at different temps. They are.
Well, I mean, no, but hold on. So let's check this out. Bill does warmer than I typically do. Yeah. And Bill typically lives in a warmer climate than I do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
That's what I'm saying.
Why would he go higher temps if he technically lives in a hotter area than me?
What I'm saying is because you live in a different area. Your temp might work differently as far as incubation. Like, for instance,
I'm thinking
people all
higher.
across the
I want to go
U.S.
higher.
I don't think that there's a way to actually gauge it, though. I think it's just what works best for your environment. I think that's
So
going to take a while.
How do I know it works best if I don't gauge it though?
You're going to gauge it by your wins and losses.
And I've been losing.
Damn, that's funny.
You're gonna figure it out, man. Like
I am. I'm good. I'm confident. I think about you need a fucking incubator that is legit and that's gonna give you solid temps and you don't fuck with it. I think that's what needs to happen for me.
So
I think if I do that, I'll be happy.
So what
Shout
is your specialty chondro incubator? What type of incubator is it?
It's a PVC. It's very unique actually, and I forgot that the guy who made it is he's pretty like OG in the game, not in the chondro game, but like just in the reptile industry. His name's not standing out, but I got it from KG&D from the Bomb Project. Shout out to the Bomb Project fam, and it was so random because at the last reptile show, I told my boy Diego, my dude, I'm on a hunt for a fucking incubator because I need my own incubator for the chondros, and I was just gonna go with like one of those sea serpent like 2x2x2s, like just something like nothing crazy, like just I need something just for them and I could just do their thing, right? But then I came across this goddamn 6-foot incubator. It's on wheels, but it's made out of PVC. There's 2 different levels. There's heat at the top, there's heat at the bottom, so both are controlled differently, right? So and I've already been running it and I've been doing it, been running the test, and it's holding everything steady as shit. And so I'm using this PVC built like a sea serpent style incubator, just like sea serpent, but it's just custom a little differently, But it's
where do you place your probe, if you don't mind me asking?
I place it right there, like so. Mind you, this probe right now I only have one probe in there because I only have one clutch. I only have my monitor clutch in there, but it's basically it's hanging right above the egg box. So
okay.
It's right above, like let's just say this is the egg box. It's hanging right above it, like right there.
Yeah, mine's like a half inch to a quarter inch above it.
Yeah. And I think that's also like, don't ever fuck with your goddamn my mind's blanking. What were we just talking about? What the fuck?
The
probe. Sorry. Don't ever fuck with your probe, man. Wherever you have your probe, leave your probe. And that's another big thing I shot myself in the foot with. I think it was my second clutch, is I fucked with the probe. And you just don't want to, just don't want to do that at all. So I think probe position is important. And once you find a good position, don't mess with it. Like, leave it.
So I think
my first class doing.
Yeah. So Brian. Yeah. Shout out to Brian. Just so that's what I did. Placement. I put my probe in. I had my probe for like 30 days outside, and then for whatever reason, I don't know why the fuck I did it. Yeah. I was like, dude, the probe, I should want the temps inside the egg box. So I put the probe inside the egg box. Everything went to shit, bro. It was bad after that.
What happened to Keno?
So bad.
Hey, I got a question for you. What substrate are you using?
I'm back.
I'm on cocoa chip now, man. I can't believe I did it. I thought I would be puppy pads for life.
You can't see me?
No, I'm talking about for your incubator.
Oh,
I mean for your egg box.
My bad.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you too.
I use.
I think streaming. I did some weird shit.
Straight water, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you put anything above it to try to block the water off?
No.
Because I know Alan was using the drawer liner.
I use sim containers, so they just have the trays. They have the trays that I just use. I am because I recently got monitor clutches this year, and I use Paralite. I use Paralite for them, and I never like to use substrate because I always feel like I won't get the right consistency down for whatever reason. And that's why. And I don't know. I just never. I thought over water you're straight. Like there's nothing to worry about. So I'm considering about maybe doing substrate this year other than water. I'm more looking forward to maybe putting holes, tiny holes straight from the get go. Do any of you guys have holes in your egg box and having?
Yeah,
from day one.
Day one. Day one.
Shout out to Patrick from day one.
Yeah, Pat told us that.
The eggs are so perfect that I thought at the last day when I'm gonna hatch. I'm like, I haven't had no problems the whole damn time. Something got to be wrong.
Yeah. I use a 50-50 perlite vermiculite mix.
Yeah.
I use perlite. I just use straight perlite in water, soaked in water. egg crate on top of it.
So it's like what? It's 1 cup to every 2 cups or something like that, or water. Like it's 50-50, right, or something, or how's it?
I
Work?
don't know.
mine?
I just pour that shit up in there. I ain't gonna lie to you, MJ.
Yeah, I put it in a bowl. I put a cup of Perlite,
Let's
put
get
a
that
cup
shit
of
soaking wet.
vermiculite in there,
But Kino,
and
you
I
don't,
just mix a bunch of water in there.
Kino, you don't put the eggs directly in the substrate, do you?
Nah.
Okay.
It's 2 egg crates right above the water.
Gotcha.
Right above the substrate.
That's cool. Yeah, I think I might. I got a fucking goddamn 100-pound bag of Perlite. So
That's the old school way though, putting it in
Yeah.
the perlite mixed with the vermiculite. I remember seeing that back in the day, and people hatching chondro eggs just fine.
Yeah,
I ain't got no balls to do that though. I think I might make that shit too.
you know,
Fuck up my head.
nothing.
I think I would.
One day, bro. Like I said, I have to get the fucking the first clutch first, right? But someday I do want to have these eggs that I'm obsessed with being hatched out directly on the substrate. Like because some of these motherfuckers got that down, man. They'll be covering it and shit like that. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? But they all come out perfectly great. And I'm like, God damn, that's player. So
I got a question for you.
I want to get my snake spirit bag, man. I want to have enough balls to do one maternal one day.
I was gonna ask MJ that. It was just like, MJ, are you willing to do maternal?
Because Chris a dog with it. Chris
and Noel too.
Shout to
Noel too.
Shout out to Coach Rice, man. I gotta say, guys, make sure you catch Trap Talk Reptile Podcast this Thursday. I have Christopher Rice and Warren Booth.
Okay.
We're gonna go ape shit about emeralds.
Chris a dog with it.
Yeah.
Chris is a real one, man. Chris is someone who's been in the game for years and years and years, and he ain't scared. And he's somebody always trying to figure shit out. And he's gone through
the right way.
The right way.
Yeah.
And I want to just give mad props to Chris Rice, man. He's somebody I've looked up to in the industry for the last like 3-4 years now. So shout out to the homie.
Yeah, man. I always tap in with Chris.
Yeah. Chris good money.
So man, you said something on your podcast that when you interviewed me, I don't think we had enough time to dig deep into it. But how the hell your last clutch, all the babies prolapsed? What? Expand on that. Tell me about that.
I think it was 4 out of the 6 or something like that prolapsed.
What was the parent? What was that parent?
Pure BX. It's pure BX.
Okay.
And what sucks is like the one that like I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure you guys had your favorite out of the clutch. They were the one that you felt ate the best, looked the best, and you were just like, oh, you're my favorite, like my favorite child, right? So my favorite child was like always ahead of the rest, like the way it looked, the way it ate. Like I was like, dude, you're like the star example. Like no matter what happens to the other 5 or whatever, I know I'm gonna have you. You're gonna be fine. And what happened was the first one that passed on me never shed. Like it never shed. And I'm talking about when it went into 2 shed cycles where it went opaque, it went fucking ghost, and then nothing happened. And I'm like, but it's still eating, it's still eating, it's still shitting.
Yeah.
And then finally the next time it did that and I was ready to feed it, I come in and it's rolled out on the bottom and it's just
and it never shed.
Never shed. No. I even fucked with its head.
Hey, so my baby when you talk to me, my baby that was doing that same shit. Well, I shed maybe like a month ago now, and it's been smashing food ever since it come out of shed. It's the meanest one out of all of them.
Yeah. Hey, look,
that motherfucker will bite the shit out of me every day.
Nobody should be mad at a mean Neo, man. You want a mean Neo. Mean Neos are
but I was this close to putting them motherfucking in the garbage in the freezer because it was like
I'm glad you didn't.
It was like 7, 8 mice thighs.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you something funny.
I'm feeling like Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm ripping mice apart, limb by limb.
With an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you something funny. So one of the sarongs that Kino wanted, it didn't eat off the bat, and it took forever. And I kept telling Kino like it was gonna eat, and he picked a different one anyway. But it's been 9 months, and it just ate on its own for the first time on Sunday. So here's the thing about these animals, like they don't work on no time schedule, and like even when it comes to like bowel movements and sheds, it's just you see so many of them like at one point in time, and even though they're all siblings, they're just all gonna do some different and weird shit sometimes, man.
Yeah. And one of the things that stood out to me were like the ones that prolapsed never gave me a good solid shit. And I have other people tell me like, oh, I get wet
Brian.
shits all the time. But no, man, this shit was smeared on the side. Like you could tell it. You could tell it hurt them. Like you could tell it was hurting them trying to take a shit. You know what I mean? And
like it whipped it back and forth. Like it whipped the tail and shit everywhere.
It was just everywhere. It was like smear. Like I'm literally like fucking cleaning feces off the side of the goddamn tub almost every other day, and they were shitting quick too. And I think it's because, and I don't, right? I'm just saying. And one thing I'm not going to do going into my next clutch is feeding them the red hot mice, the red hot mice, the day ones, like that little piece of red blood, right? And that was my first few meals on those snakes. That's what they had. So I don't know if they didn't have enough in them to shit. I don't know what it was. Just a guess, right? But
MJ, I fed them that one time and then I went straight to like 10-day-old pinkies.
Yeah.
It was like a little bit of fuzz on them, but you gotta like put it up to the light to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I had chick down on. I had chick down on them too, so there's no excuse.
Yeah, same thing, chick down, everything. But it's like I was afraid of the red eyes. I always been afraid of starting animals, babies off on that because it ain't shit, man. It's like you said, it's a water bag.
Yeah, exactly.
And mashed up lizards, man. That might help you out a little bit too.
What's mashed out lizards? What do you mean?
Just get a lizard and mash it up.
What, you coat it like instead of the chick down?
Chick down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any lizard, huh?
Geckos, or just I think that you can catch one outside. I think that little stinky, dirty, like lizard that's been living on the side of your house. I think that one might entice them a little more so than a clean one. But I think that it just all depends, man. Like they're all just super different. Like, and once you get them all to a certain point, once they're all like ready to go, you're gonna see that none of them are on the same page. Some of them are close to on the same page, but they're not all on the same page. And I wouldn't even say that they're really established until feeding time comes around and they're all at the front of the tub. That's when I would say you really got them established.
Do you hear when Greg Maxwell said on the show about when he feels good about a chondro, when he thinks, okay, this chondro's like there's nothing to worry about. What age that is for him? Do you remember him saying that?
No.
No, he interviewed him. We interviewed him.
He said 10 years old.
Hey man, it might make sense, man.
He said it with a straight ass face too. Like I thought he was gonna smirk or something. His face was straight as a fucking like. He said about 10 years old. What's the next question? I was like, what the fuck?
Hey man, but
that's a Greg.
But here's the thing though, is like I think that my oldest chondro is like 8. So I couldn't tell you what a 10-year-old chondro looks like in my care. So I would say, he probably could give you a much better answer than I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a chondro that old, like, it's established. But I got a question for you though, MJ. As far as like what you did with, with the animals that you first got off the bat from your importer to animals that you've acquired to this point, what is your end goal? Like, do you have a specific phenotype that you want to go for? Are you intending to go into line breeding? Are you going to create the MJ line, or like what? Yeah,
I mean, I definitely see the primary foundation I have going in my collection right now is all locality shit. I have like I said, I have a lot of females, but they're all like banging ass locality females, pure localities. I have some designers that I'm raising up. Not too sure what the sexes on those. I think I have maybe 2 males that I'm raising up that are designer males. One of them's a high yellow from Socrates. Shout out to Sock. And then the other one's a sibling. So Sonic has a snake called Sonic, and Sonic was a brother to White Diamond. So I have like some of that shit going on. So I want to, like I said, I admire, Socrates' like the work he had.
What the fuck happened to Nipsey? I thought, didn't you have a snake called Nipsey?
Yeah, Nipsey passed away. So I got Nipsey from the homie. I got Nipsey from the homie Tim. And Tim got him from James Opdale. And I got this snake, Nido test
Okay.
cleaned, everything was straight, but it never perched right. It had that hanging problem. It hanged. And
Oh, shit.
next you know, it had this buildup problem. It was building up stuff towards the end of its belly. And then I started seeing like the suction in, like basically something started sucking in, and it was just getting worse and worse. So I had to put him down. He didn't make it, unfortunately. But I actually do. I have one designer male paired up right now. It's a Vinsky.
I remember when you first got into this, man. I want to watch him because it's always nice when somebody get an old dog.
Yeah, I mean, I was very fucking pretty excited to get that full paired up, and I had him doing work on a couple girls, but he just didn't look good after a while, and he just couldn't digest his meals, like he couldn't shit, and so yeah, it was very unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. It sucked. I'd rather put him down than watch him be fucking miserable, you know, and just not happy and not doing his thing. So yeah, anyways, I do actually have one designer male paired up right now, though, the Vinsky Blue Line. It was a Vinsky Blue Line / Biak that my second chondro I ever bought. And I originally bought it as a female. It turned out to be a male. And I didn't find out he was a male until earlier this year. And he's one of the ones being paired up, and he's locking right now to my monoquarry. So I don't know. I want to get some of these designers into these fucking banging ass localities and just see what happens and handpick what I like the most. And I got to tell you, anything I breed I'm going to want to keep for sure at this point. I mean, I say that now. I don't see myself letting go of shit, you know, just because I want it so bad. So, but yeah, I want to just put everything in these pure localities, man, and just kind of just branch things from there. And just, you know, I would love to have my own line someday if that's the case. And if not, no big deal. But yeah, I mean, I just know that all designers came from localities. Like everything started from localities, and it's cool to have a foundation.
For sure.
All localities, you know?
Yeah. Kino he has a term for it. It's called locality integrity. Where if you breed, you know, designers or outcrosses, you got to do something locality wise. And I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
I
was,
think it's just cool to maintain it, man.
I love sarong, so I'm gonna keep breeding.
Know what a sarong look like, so he breeding sarongs. He know what a maniquar look like, or he know what a pure biak look like, and he might have hatched some crazy shit up, but they still pure biaks.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think it's nice to see that.
I think it's important to explain to people getting into it too. Like people should understand what localities are and embrace that these aren't morphs. Like these aren't morphs that we're dealing with. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it just makes things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah,
I had an interesting question.
Tree, that don't make it a hybrid. Everything ain't a damn hybrid. You still got some shit that's representative of this type.
I had an interesting question from some guy on Morph Market. He sent me a picture of a snake, and he was just like, "Do you have something that's gonna look like this?" And I was just like, "Bro, these are great tree pythons. I couldn't tell you necessarily exactly what this thing is gonna look like." But he was just like, "Well, this isn't like."
He
was like
05188. It was half black and shit.
Yeah, it was some. It looked like Aquaberry. It looked like Alab's Aquaberry. And then he was just like, I think it might have been Aquaberry. And then he was just like, this isn't like ball pythons. There's not as much selection. I was just like, this is very different. This is very different from ball pythons. And, you know, you also got to look at it like this. Like, the people that you mentioned, like Socrates and Bill, like, when you're getting animals from them, like, you're also getting a high level of quality animal. Like, and I don't necessarily know if all the ball pythons that are being produced, how can you pick that out?
Pick what out?
Because, you know, there's some, you know, pick out the quality ones, like as far as, you know, care and stuff like this. Like what you said about getting animals from Bill and Socrates, how you believe in them, that you wouldn't put it in quarantine. I don't necessarily know if that exists with the vast majority of ball pythons that you.
How's the ball python game?
Ball python game is amazing. It's awesome. I mean, it's.
I mean, as far as like the quarantine is, so we talked about the green sheet quarantine. How's the ball python shit? Because it seems like
I bring those motherfuckers right in, straight up, no quarantine.
Yeah,
yep. You don't quarantine
at all.
Nope, I get mine from I get my shit from bangers, bro. I only get ball pythons from the heaviest hitters who I trust. I have no trust issues from where I get my mainly any ball python that comes into this collection now comes from Mark.
Not in ball pythons either.
There's night-owned ball pythons for sure, but I'm not
Okay.
I'm not worried about that.
But what I'm talking about is like the vast majority of people selling ball pythons on Morph Market.
For sure.
Like,
If I get something
how
off
do you-
someone random off Morph Market, that shit's getting fucking quarantined 100,000% for sure.
That's what I'm asking. Like, how do you know? Because there's so many ball pythons being produced. Like, how do you?
And it's
just
so hard.
spot check them?
It's hard. It would be hard to quarantine these shit because with the ball pythons, it's such a race to breed this before the value drops in half. And
there's just certain names out there, bro, that you just have so much trust in. And I know people cannot be too safe. I know there's people like, I don't give a fuck who it's from. But me, just the way, and like I said, don't be like me, kids. Don't be like me. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you, this is how I do things. And will it bite me in the ass someday? Maybe. But till then, don't talk shit, you know? But yeah, I just buy who I trust from. That is the easiest way to go about things. Buy from who the fuck you truly trust from. If you do that, there ain't no issue. Okay? Because like I said, the people who I deal with, their names are so big and relevant in this fucking industry. There's no issue. Like I'm not dealing with this. I'm not. And if there was an issue, my God, will it be fixed? My God. But there's not. You gotta just trust, just know who you're dealing with. You gotta know who you're dealing with.
And I would say that works for the most part. But I mean, you know, in the green tree python, yeah, but in the green tree python community, because like when I came in 2015, it looked a lot differently than when I came back in 2018, and I started seeing mass collection sell-offs. And like what was happening is like some people that were pretty big in the game, like they did have Nido. So I would say that even though like some guys have big names that are super relevant now, there is still that possibility that you could get a snake from somebody who has a big name that the snake is not.
It's definitely a possibility. But like I said, these big names are people who are like my best friends. These are my close. These are my people, bro. You know what I mean? But if it was a big name that I have no association with, never even spoken to him, and I'm getting a snake for him, I don't know. Like, especially if I've never seen their collection, you don't like if you don't know this person firsthand, like it's just, yeah, like if you don't have those for sure things, then dude, everything quarantine is what's going to save you. Trust me, 110%. I'm just in this differently than others, in a sense. What Travis is saying makes a lot of sense. For the most part, you got to quarantine. I mean, it's just, it's so like common, and you have to do it. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, and first and foremost, like I like to support who I want to support, and those are my friends. Like I want to support people that put me on. You know what I mean? So, I just
Pat showed up.
Oh, there he is! Wow, he's going to bed soon. Shout out to Patrick, man. He's that's a hardworking guy, right?
What up, Pat?
Shout out to Pat.
That's my mentor right there, man. Shout out to Pat, man.
What were you saying about Patrick?
That's my mentor.
Pat, old weird ass. That's my dog. My dog for life.
I love Patrick. Thanks for showing up, Patrick. It means a lot.
My dog for life right there.
So I got a question for you, MJ, as far as like keeping babies and, you know, like establishing babies. Like, how are you like, love you too, Pat. How are you like keeping the babies? Like, what type of rack setup do you have, if you have a rack setup?
Yeah, so sure. The raise ups, like the designer raise ups that I have going on right now. And like I have a couple basins that I'm raising up in there, and a couple emerald trees. So about 6 of my raise ups are inside these 15-quart Starlight tubs in a sea serpent rack. 84 hotspot I have for both of them, chondros and the emeralds. And they're in the same room as this. So right now it's 77 degrees in this room right now. And I keep them on very damped, soaked paper towel. With their I want to say shout out to a new sponsor I got this year. Shout out to David Brom, the Reptile Perch. Please go follow him on Instagram. But yes, I have them all on David Brom's designs, reptile perches, and you know, fresh water. Yeah.
So, but I had a second part of that question in terms of like, keeping them as what you've seen over these clutches in the past. Have you seen any commonalities that you didn't like or that you did like that, gave you some hope, or some things that you were just like, this isn't good within the clutches when you were actually keeping them in, once you actually got them and you were keeping them and taking care of them?
Yeah, so I think I've always had the method of how to house Neos down. I've never had that because 84 wet paper towel. I've been doing that since the get go, ever since I got my very first clutch, and that's because that's what's worked for many of my mentors who's put me on. And so you gotta pick and choose who you want to decide to learn from, and you gotta stick to that. And so I've always stuck to that method. I've always had, like many people say, you have Neos that are going to go the distance, and you have Neos that aren't going to go the distance. I think incubation has always been my fucking art, my Achilles heel. I really feel like,
but you got that this year, bro.
Yeah, I got, yeah, and we're gonna see. We'll see. We'll see what happens this year. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
You got it. You got it.
So, and mind you, that's all I can say, man. Is
I'll be honest with you, man. I think Bill. I'll say this. I think Bill Incubator, the way he got that shit down, it provides a false sense of security for some people. Because he got that shit down to a T to where it's crazy how you thinking about that, because I'm re-racking our interview now, and it's like how he talked about how he bring his chondro clutches down a couple levels to after, like between the days, and it just make it, I don't know, man. Is when you see Bill doing that, it make you think like, shit, I could just set up this incubator and I could just set this up just like Bill do, and then you get smacked with that. It took him 5 years to feel comfortable. Then he still every couple of years he say he get it reheated and rewired.
I appreciate you, Patrick. Thank you. I will say, man, you have so many people that have been on my show that have done things differently and it's worked for them. Okay. Yeah. You have people who've done straight and bake. Like they don't do nothing. They don't adjust a fucking thing and they've had great success rate. True. I think Ryan Young is one of those people. He doesn't do shit. Straight fucking temp the whole time.
Yeah,
he
walks
into the room later. He doesn't fuck with it. He doesn't open the lid. I think he wipes it down if he needs to, but I guess the way he does shit, it doesn't need to be touched, and that's nuts. But that's what works for him,
Patrick in the igloo, in the igloo cooler.
You're
right though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm sure Patrick. Patrick has told me stuff that he has had hatched out from going incubator to incubator. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
Like, let's think about
it's
that.
Weird.
So
power outage. Yep.
Yeah, man, it's just so crazy, and it just comes down to like, how valuable are these eggs?
But when I listened to that story, I think what that told me was I don't think the green tree python has. We probably don't give them enough credit for being tough.
They are tough. They're pretty tough. They just stress us and do too good with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they just not as tough as other python species, but they probably not as fickle as we think they are.
But you look what they provide for us. You know what I mean? Like there is nothing like a green tree python. So of course, what do you think is going to come with something like that? You know what I mean? This ain't going to be no goddamn fucking ball python to breed. Which is, I'm glad. This is why I love it, bro. Like I love that we are a part of something that no one could really fuck with, like market wise, price wise. So I told Bill, Bill will never be my friend that I will ever go to a fucking reptile show and see a bunch of Bill Stiegel productions on a table being sold at wholesale. You'll never see that. I am so sorry, but that's never going to happen. And
unless Alan rob him. And you got to get rid of him real quick.
Who?
Alex Warren.
That's
Alex would never do that. And if he did, I'd fucking kill that guy, bro. You kidding me? I love that.
Hey, don't say that, man.
That was a joke. YouTube, relax.
Don't kill him.
I would kill him in a freestyle. Hey, can I shout Alex Warren though? That's my guy, bro.
Yeah, shout out whoever you want to shout
Alex
out,
Warren,
shout out to the ginger hair genius, man.
One of the biggest up and comers, I feel like, in being groomed the right way, man. That's my dog. Shout out to Alex Warren, man. That's it.
Bro,
We love Alum. So when we did the hot chip challenge,
he get hand on mentorship, man.
Yeah. So when we did the hot chip challenge, we had Alum on. He watched us do the whole entire thing.
Yeah,
And he
We
just
need to
watched
get
us
back on
die
again because
in agony.
we got to fuck this episode up, man.
Yeah, we didn't really fuck up Alum's episode. Oh man, that was not a good idea. Oh,
You
but
gotta do that. You gotta do that, MJ. You gotta do the new chip challenge on the episode.
Can't
At the
do
beginning of the episode. What? Why? Why not?
I don't do that stuff, bro. I'm good. I got a weak
Why
stomach.
not,
I don't
man?
fuck with that shit, bro. I know.
I'm saying you
I know,
like to react. You like to react to the potential shit. What's up? Why don't you do some hot shit? Come on, what's up?
Good, bro. Nah.
Hey, if we do it, man.
I'd rather just
if we do it, man, you got to come in to judge it.
I'll judge it. Yeah, but I can't. I'm telling you, bro. I can't do that type of shit. I'll die.
He said,
I'll die.
Hey, man.
I made it.
If
I made it, you can make it. Man.
I'm telling you,
if you saw it, Keno almost died, bro. Keno literally almost died, bro. He came translucent damn near. His face is so damn pale.
What was your go-to after you could drink? What'd you drink?
I ain't drink shit, MJ, the whole episode. I went the whole episode without drinking.
Yeah, right. He did?
Yeah,
I swear to God, I was the only one out of the three. I went the whole episode.
He almost died, man.
Damn.
Came out. His son came out and was just like, Daddy,
I got to take a piss real quick. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Hey.
I'm still not gonna let you do it a year. I'm not gonna let you do it again. I'm gonna talk to Brittany and be like, yo, he's not no more.
I found the new Peggy chip too. I saw the new Peggy one the other day at 7-Eleven, $8.99. So
I don't give a shit what you found. You better leave that shit where you saw it.
Don't tempt me. I got your address. I will get a special.
I got your address too. I got your address too. Yeah.
Yeah, I will get a special delivery. I'm just saying. Church.
I'm gonna say you fucking 86 tubes of Panicure.
What?
Just because I got your fucking address.
I'm gonna send y'all the new Peggy chip.
Don't send me no fucking Peggy chips, bro. Yo, did you see what he said?
I seen the new one.
I thought I was gonna have to call 911. Please help my friend in Chicago. He's dying from a chip. Yo, Keno, you did almost die, bro. Yeah, bro, Keno, it was real rough. You look like you had been swimming all day. Your skin got really pale.
I'm saying though, did I or did I not make it out that storm though? I'm saying.
You made it out of that storm, bro. But me and Chuck was just like, me and Chuck was like, yo, you gotta stop. And you was like, nah, bro.
Bro, because y'all drank water. Y'all drank milk real soon. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't no hard, but I showed the hard.
No, we didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all did.
Bro, we didn't.
I was like 3 minutes in and y'all was like 3
minutes
in and y'all tapped out, bro. Y'all tapped out early as hell.
No, it wasn't, bro. We didn't have no milk for at least like 6 minutes, bro.
Well, your face.
I was standing up doing the fucking. Yeah, my face did swell up, and your face turned white. You got Michael Jackson disease. You turned into Michael Jackson, bro.
All I'm saying is I won that. You know what I'm saying?
You did win.
We're gonna do it again.
What was the cost? What was the cost? The fact that you looked like you was dying. You look like you was in a fucking casket. Like they put fucking corpse makeup for you.
And I shit black 2 days like a newborn.
You did shit black, and then you told me the next day, like all about your shit. I'm just like, bro, I don't want to hear this shit.
I thought I was gonna die for real, man.
Yeah, and I had to talk to you because you were just like, I already told Brittany I'm doing another one. I was like, no, the fuck you not. You're not doing this. We're not doing this. I'll tell your girl that you try to fucking kill yourself and tell her she need to up your life insurance policy. You stupid motherfucker.
It's already $250,000. Don't tell her that.
I hate you. I fucking hate you. He said Keno was looking like a blue tongue skeet that needed the Heimlich maneuver. Keno, bro. Keno, you did not look good, bro. We thought you was dying.
I made it out, though.
You
what
know
don't
what
kill you, make
like?
you stronger.
When they said the Eazy-E died of AIDS in like 2 days, I was like, that's how Keno looked.
Damn.
That's a piece of Eazy-E.
Damn.
You said my Uncle Charles.
He said, yeah, bro. You ate the Uncle Charles chip, bro. That's what you ate. You ate the Uncle Charles chip. All right, we got MJ back. We gonna stop fucking around. All right, MJ, man. I got another question for you. What do you feel? I don't know what the fuck that means. What do you feel like this year is gonna be different for you in terms of volume? Because MJ, you got 4 clutches. You got 4 potential clutches right now. And that can mean a lot of time, but it also means a lot of success. So, how do you feel about this year coming up?
I mean, at this point, it's a numbers game. I know the more reps, the more experience, the more opportunities. I think the biggest thing I'm looking for are opportunities. This is the most opportunities I've ever had for sure. Like I've never had 4 females at once being locked up and stuff. So
swings up the
honestly, at this point, I don't give a fuck. Like if they all, mind you, be quite a bit of impressive luck, but let's say I go 4 for 4. Yeah, that's a shit ton of work right there, right? But
yeah,
Socrates is doing it, Bill's doing it, Patrick's done it, people are doing it, and sacrifices will need to be made, man. It's going to be it's going to be like I mean, there's been plenty of nights I've spoken to Socrates where he's like, I didn't sleep last night. I was up till fucking 3 a.m. feeding Neos. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes, you know?
You're going to have to get you an alum, bro. You're going to have to get you.
I got a homie, his name's Diego. I got.
I'm doing it on 1 clutch, man. So I can't imagine doing it on 4.
I want to say shout out to my protege out there, man. My homie Diego.
Shout out to Diego.
Yeah, Diego, man. He's more of a monitor guy, but I feel like he's a reptile guy, and he's becoming a natural. Anything I kind of put hands on, make him put hands on. But I think I have support, and not only Diego, man. I got a couple other homies who are willing to come in and I probably have a lot more patience because I don't have a lot of patience, and this game has taught me patience. But like, there's this certain frustration you can't implement when it comes to feeding Neos. Like there's just a time that and I've seen it.
Hey, wait till your son in the walker come through, and you think you got that that baby just right, and he come up and run your motherfucking toe. Like,
he slaps the tub.
I was like, come on, man. Damn, man, you see me feed
I will slap the shit out of my boy.
Hey, man. My wife came in and asked me one night when I was trying to get that number 16 that Keno was going to get to eat. She came and was like, do you want some spaghetti? I was like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. She was just trying to take care of me, but that snake, but it did drop that fucking fuzzy. I was like, God damn it. Fucking spaghetti.
Can I say something real quick?
Say whatever you want to say, bro.
The biggest thing I'm looking forward to at some point in my career is having the type of production where like it's going to people like you, like you guys, like people who are just kind of, like one of us, like we're on the same team here. You feel me? And one of the things I admire about Patrick is like Patrick could get his hands on anything he fucking wants in this hobby because he could trade for it. Like he has shit that just people would always want. You know what I mean? That availability. Now, mind you, Patrick is very selective. I love how Patrick just doesn't let his shit go to just any fucking idiot. Like, no, like Patrick is very selective. And I would love to be in that selective position someday where like if I want to send something to Trav or if I want to send something to you, Keno, or Patrick, or whoever, like my goal is to get the shit that I love into people hands like you, like relevant keepers. Like I don't want to sell to a customer coming to my booth at the Super Show. No offense. I love vending. I really do. I vend now, but that's for the ball pythons. That's for that shit. Okay. It's just a different, it hits a little.
No, that's cool. But I got you. It means more, and especially mean more when the people that you want to have your shit actually want it.
Yeah, I sell snakes for way cheaper to people I actually know.
Man, I can't wait to get that shit in your hand. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not easy, right?
It's a hell of a feeling.
Yeah, and this dude, think about Marshall Mendez. You can't find somebody who's bought a Chondro off Marshall in the last 2 years. Because guess why? He's been holding them all back. Like this guy has so much shit that he forgets that he has. It's crazy. And that's what I want someday. Like I want some shit like that. That's what I would hope to be at someday. That's my goal. Yeah. Shout out to Marshall. I want to say Marshall Mendez, Red Mountain Herps. Do not sleep on my guy. one of my favorite people in the reptile industry for sure. He's part of the Lost Boys. Shout out to the entire Lost Boys crew, man. It's Bill Stiegel, Marshall Mendez, and Gary Shavino. That's those guys right there. Some of the biggest pillars in the reptile industry right there.
Why are you calling the Lost Boys? Who's Rufio?
Because we're lost.
Who's Rufio and the Lost Boys?
I don't know, man. I don't even know where that came from, to be honest.
Lost Boys. You probably talking about the hairline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they either that or they shoe game.
Yeah.
Yo, are we talking about hairlines?
Their shoe game is reckless.
Are we talking about Skoda Sacks and Young Hope?
We're not doing that. We're not doing that, Travis. We're not talking about bald head people.
Hey, Travis said, who's Rufio?
Hey, but I'm concerned. Who's Rufio? Who's Stud Butt?
That's me for sure. I'm looking. I got the marbles.
But I think that of all the things that you said were potential problems, I just think that really in all actuality, you're just gonna get it. It's gonna happen for you. So I wouldn't worry too much.
Anyone who has patience and just waits could get it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it happens quicker than others. Like some people have better luck or they have faster success than others, but that doesn't mean success won't come your way. And mind you, a lot of the things I did because I made a stupid decision. So sometimes you're your own worst enemy and you just need to do less, just do less. And I also think that chondros can easily be overthought. Like people overthink chondros, especially somebody I'm sure you guys talk to people who admire chondros and they're like, yeah, I need to do a year of research. What? For what? What? What do you mean a year? What do you are you going in and are you buying a collection? What are you talking about? Can't we agree that keeping chondros, not breeding, but keeping chondros is one of the easiest things to do?
It is. You know what? The critical part of keeping chondros
it depends
just
on
one thing.
Who you start off with first. If you do
one thing.
Wait, one person at a time.
Hold on.
One person at a time.
The critical thing about keeping chondros is you cannot be cheap. You have to get good enclosures, good thermostats, good equipment. You have to get that. You have to establish that stuff first. You have to get.
I was just saying, no, don't impulse buy, because if you impulse buy keeping, it's going to be a bad experience for you.
You definitely cannot be lazy. Okay, you can't be cheap. You're right. Meaning give it the extra stuff if you can. I don't know what your guys' first and foremost, what's the tap water like in your guys' area? Do you guys probably don't have good tap water, or do you?
No, for me,
Chicago, we got a top 3. I think we got one of the top 3 tap water drinkers.
So, and that's what you use? That's what you use?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you?
I have a GE reverse osmosis water system in my house.
Okay.
So I got really good water.
Damn.
I paid a lot.
You got that nerd pimp water.
So, one thing that's freaking me out lately, even though I feel I've heard our tap water isn't bad where we're at. I don't think it's not the best, but it's not bad. It's good. It's okay for reptiles from what I've heard. But if I can, I'd much rather give them filtered water. I feel like
what? I got a suggestion for you, bro.
Tell me.
So Amazon sells these little pumps, right, that you can put on those 5-gallon water drums that you get from the store. Right. And it's actually like a USB one. It charges and you just hit the button and it comes out. And that's what I used with my clutches when they were babies. Yeah, so they're $15, bro. So you get it and you put it on the 5-gallon drum, and you just replace that drum every so often with spring water, tap water. It works really well.
So Cali got Flint water out there?
No, we're good. We actually got some iron. We have a little bit of iron that's good for reptiles from what I heard from other keepers here. But I just rather keep, if I could provide filtered water, I much rather do that. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. I did it with mine. I think it's a really good idea. But you don't have to get the whole big water thing to hook it up to. You can just get one of those $15 pumps for it, man. It's real easy to set up.
But I used to measure the pH of my water and stuff because we do that at my job. So I was like, I'm gonna start doing that at home.
Can I ask you a question? Do you measure the pH of them bus stop girls?
What? You had to think.
No comment.
You had to think.
I ain't stopped at a bus stop in a long time. You know what I'm saying?
I don't stop there on the bus.
But to answer your question, when I did stop there, no, I did not measure the pH.
All right,
I don't do
man.
that. I don't do that type of stuff no more, though. Travis,
You
I'm
don't
a
do
changed
that?
man.
You're a man of God. You're a deacon at the church, ain't you, Keno?
A deacon.
Deacon Keenan. Yo, Ready P said at the blade.
Travis, I done laid off you this whole episode. Like, you better end this episode before I start. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
the end, bro. You can just do it. If you want to do it, you better pull the trigger, bro. I don't care.
I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that, Mr. Lavender. Slow down.
Hey, man.
Mr. Lavender, slow down.
Listen, you have told everybody, bro. I'm pretty sure they see your memes about me, bro. It's not true. I'm not a pimp. Keno, I don't think you just understand, bro. Like, you can just have pimps in your family and not be a pimp, bro. That's how. It's not a thing, bro.
MJ, do you have any people in your family that ever match their car with their shoes?
Match their cars with their shoes, like colors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interior, exterior.
My dad.
Okay.
His daddy's a pimp.
My dad's that guy.
Do your dad, does he possess a strong backhand or strong forehand? Which one?
Backhand.
Okay. Thank you. Shout out to the Latino pimps. Okay.
My dad will say he's a PIMP too. He will say that. He will meet you and he will say, "Hey, listen, I am a PIMP." He will certify that himself.
Look, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Church. Tell him I said church personally. Church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Respect the game.
Yes, we definitely respect him. Shout out to Travis. I respect Travis. I don't want to get slapped at Tinley.
Hey, you come to Tinley?
I'm not this October, man. Not me. Unfortunately, man. I can't. Yeah, I'm
Why not, man?
I'm on no travel.
You got a new baby.
Bro. Yeah, I got
a new baby.
I got to be here for the wife, bro. I got to be here for the wife, and I committed. I already put it in her head. I'm in no travel zone this year, and it made her happy. And
the first year is cool. Yeah, she got to recover.
Yeah,
and then
next year's back on.
You gotta.
We're good next
year.
year.
You gotta help her mentally. You gotta be there. It's gonna be some rough nights. You gonna see.
We're there, man. Like this kid,
you already balled, so you don't gotta worry about losing her, man.
Every 2 hours, bro, we got to do something for this kid. So it's nonstop. But we all right. We're doing good, and I'll be back at it.
It's gonna slow down though. Trust me, once he gets to start sleeping in his playpen by himself, and you get to like 1 bottle a night instead of 7, you're like, whew. Then you get to swim in the wife again. It's gonna be a lovely time.
Yeah, we missed our dinner.
Nah, in like 1.5, man, they kick it back up with weird shit. Like my son, he'll wake up in the middle of the night and you'll just like cut the light on. He'll be perching on the table eating garlic bread that was left over. Like, bro, like they do some weird shit. Like my son is a fucking nut.
That's too much. Honestly, I would love to see that for my own kid. I would be so happy. I would be proud.
Nah, man, because you're going to think somebody's breaking into your house. You think somebody took your baby, but your baby got up and did some wild shit.
Yeah. What's crazy is like, okay, so what I rely on for any of that is my dog. Like my dogs will fucking, if they hear someone fart at my driveway, they go berserk. They hear everything. But what I'm wondering is if my dogs are so comfortable with Leo that they don't let me know when this motherfucker's up doing his thing. Like, what if they're like, oh, what's he doing? Oh, it's just him. Let him do his thing. You know what I mean?
Now,
they're going to join forces, bro. The dogs belong to Leo now.
Yeah. I was about to say, I've seen the reverse, man. I've seen my grandmother's dog. We raised that dog from a little puppy. Like when I had my first son, he would go over there and my mother would watch him.
Yeah.
And that dog, he almost attacked me one day when I went to go pick up my son. I put my hands on him, my son, and he put his mouth on my hand. It was still open. He just let me know, like, hey, motherfucker, look, this is my baby.
Yeah.
I was like, Grandma, come get your dog.
What the fuck? Yeah, and like, yeah, man, I'm seeing it. What's crazy is like, it's not. I can't get too detailed on this, but it's not always fortunate when a dog and a baby meet. Like some people, not on purpose, but maybe there's something that happens where there's not a good bond between the dog and the baby, and then there's some sort of jealousy thing that happens. And luckily, I've been all over that shit. And mind you, I'll always be, no matter how old he is, I'll always be all over the guard on this. But I just always let the dogs be included. Like the dogs they're not isolated from the baby. They're not like, like fucking where they're just like, what's happening? You know what I mean? They know the baby, and they're like what you just said. They're becoming so like, they just want to sit and be around the baby. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, and like, I don't know, like it's hard to say, bro. Like certain breeds are not as good. I don't know.
No, I get it, bro. Like my son and my Rottweiler Django, like I keep them
MJ,
apart.
leave them pit bulls alone, man. Because I love pit bulls. Goddamn it.
I'm a pit bull guy. Yeah, I got 2 of them, so I feel you.
Because Silas and Django, like they click up, and I don't like the way it looks. I think that they could just cause mayhem. So
they gonna whoop your ass.
You don't have the problem.
Silas gonna sick Django on your ass one day.
Yo, my son punched me in the face yesterday at urgent care. I was mad as fuck, but I was like, "Damn, you got that little left working for him though."
Yeah, MJ, you gotta realize too, MJ, his kids got members in them. That's different. Completely different. It's a different breed. It's a different breed.
It's not true. Don't listen to this shit, MJ.
Let me ask you, Dad, some things real quick. I gotta ask you: is it true or false? The apple does not fall too far from the tree.
It's true. It's true, bro. Bro, listen.
Let's be honest.
My daughter was a lot like me.
Comments, man.
My daughter was a lot like me, but my son embodies like most of the bad shit in me. And I see it, and he smiles when he does his bad shit. I see it in him.
Both my sons got a little bit of both, and it's bad.
I know it's way too soon to predict anything, but when I look at my son, when I see him, I see the spirit of my wife in him, which I'm glad. Like I don't see a demon. Like I don't see a fucking like a Chucky. You know, I was a Chucky, bro. Like I was bad, bro. Like
keep paying attention, MJ. Watch.
I'm telling you, I'm listen.
Wait till he start walking. He gonna start rolling around.
Listen, I'm a hardhead, right? But I'm a big hardhead when it comes to this. People are telling me out there, and I'm talking like my homies who are dads, and they got their own family and shit, right? But they're like, bro, wait till your kid outsmarts you. And I'm trying to bet anybody out there, telling you right now, my boy ain't gonna outsmart me. No,
that's not true.
I'm telling you right now, I want bets on that, because if he is like me, you ain't gonna bullshit.
MJ.
Yo, there's a comment coming in.
How many times did you outsmart your pops?
Read this, MJ.
All
Wait
the time.
For your second child, bro.
Exactly.
Wait for your second child, bro. Wait for your second one, bro.
I saw all my. I am the second child, so I know exactly what he means by that.
You was running circles around your pops.
I'm a middle kid, man. So I'm a wild child, but I'm also the golden child. I got my way all the time with my pops. But that was my problem though. My dad gave me my way too much. I know where my dad fucked up. My mom was full blood Italian. My mom would fuck me in the hand. My mom would fuck me up. My dad, he was the easy one. He was too easy, but he also called the shots. So it's like, damn, you know what I mean? I just know, that spoiled little shit ain't gonna work for me, because it didn't work for. I mean, it worked. Like I got my way, but it didn't help me. Like I had a harder life because I was so spoiled. I feel like, you know what I mean.
You gotta put your foot in their ass. You gotta put your foot in their ass.
I'm gonna be a big hypocrite, basically.
Listen, bro. It's different with sons, bro. Like, cause you see when you have a son, bro, you see that little motherfucker getting stronger and tougher.
Oh,
bro.
Fuck, I'm training right now, dog.
He's trying to give you a reason for tell you he's soft.
Bro, that's why my jiu-jitsu training is up right now, bro. I am not letting this kid
I am
ever
soft
get
with my daughter.
I'm gonna triangle choke him if I have.
Bro, you gonna see, you got a son, bro. You gonna see your son do some stuff, and you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, this kid's gonna be tough." Like I watched my son slide. He fell on the kitchen table and slid off of it, hit the ground hard. It just said, duh. It just like walked off. He didn't know anybody was around. It just walked off. I was just like, you don't have a concussion, bro?
I'm good.
That day he earned his gold teeth.
Yeah.
My children will not have gold teeth. They will not be like their father. Leave
I
that
got
shit alone.
I did get hurt a lot as a kid for sure.
Oh man, your sons. Listen, your daughters are like prizes in life for being a
I
good
want
person.
a daughter really bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, you know, it's on my wife. She's the one that has to really. She's the incubator, right? So I gotta say, like, I would love a daughter.
Hey,
sometime. If I get a
shoot
daughter,
the club
bro,
up. Hey, shoot the club up again, Jay. Go ahead, spread.
I'm already be there.
Oh, just go in, no strap.
Yo, I feel bad. Like my neighbor saw my son run down the street in nothing but a diaper one day, bro. I was just like, damn, they know we fucked up over here.
Damn,
My
I know we
son
from
was out here
Memphis.
acting crazy. I was like, they probably know
Bill
we
Street
from
on.
Memphis.
Bill
Ain't
Street
nobody in Memphis born on Bill Street, bro. That's like me saying people in Chicago born in Navy Pier.
But y'all gotta. But every Memphis person, every Memphisian, they gotta make a homage, a Hajj to Bill Street before y'all leave.
Okay, and how many times you been in Navy Pier, bro?
A lot.
See,
Navy Pier raw though. They got a children's museum there, all that.
they got cheeseburger too.
All right,
Cheeseburger, that sounds good.
Y'all take barbecue baths.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with lathering your skin in delicious apple cider vinegar based barbecue sauce.
What the fuck is we talking about?
All right, so we done ran over time, MJ. It's up to you. If you
and we talking about Travis' sexual preferences. We need to stop that.
Hey man, I don't put barbecue sauce in the butt, bro. That's just a theory. I'm working it out, bro, as we speak. But MJ, we done gone over time, so it's up to you if you want to stay or you want to go, bro.
Barbecue sauce on them.
I'm chilling, man. But listen, I got a question for Keno real quick.
What's up, MJ?
Keno, you flying down to Arlington next month?
I'm not.
Why
I will
not?
be in Arlington in the spring.
In the spring? You're going what? So you're going in February?
Yeah.
Okay. I heard there's an Arlington show in April as well now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know about that.
Well, which one everybody gonna be at?
Whichever one you bring your fucking knothead ass down to, motherfucker.
I'm not gonna be able to bring my knothead ass down to that one, man. Damn.
Well,
man.
Anything what makes Arlington is the Bill Stiegel pre-party, bro. So the reason why I ask you, Keno, is because I want to make sure I'm at that. I'm always at Bill's place. I mean, anytime Bill has that pre-party, I'm there. But we'll definitely want to hang out with you, man. I would love to meet you in person. I know we gotta do that. Yeah, I'm definitely meet Travis here.
Steve invited me to he invited me to the compound. I want to come out there.
Oh yeah, your guys' whole community is invited, man. It's gonna be great. But honestly, man, yeah. Listen, 2 hours went by quick, and I feel like I said, I see a lot of collaboration with all of us in the future because I know that with time, more experience, we're gonna have a lot more stuff to talk about. Like we're gonna have a lot more stories to share. And I know you and I we could go another 2 hours easily if we wanted to. You know what I mean? But I want to say that I appreciate this because this is like to kind of be the one who's just being asked questions and having the back and forth. It's refreshing because I like learning about shit like this also from other hosts. And I had a good time tonight. I really want to say thank you to anyone who tapped in tonight, but really thank you to you guys. Yeah. I want to say for reals, it was an honor to be on the show tonight. So thank you so much. And I hope next time I'm on this show, if I get brought back on, that I have more success to talk about versus failure.
Man, you coming back, bro. Man. You coming back.
Hey, no matter who commented on the page and said don't like your ass.
Yeah, we still like you. We still fuck with you, bro.
Hey, he gonna cry in the car.
Say this, boy. The haters came out in mass for your ass, boy. They was on your ass.
Yo, we got the messages. Be like, yo, why you? Like, yo, this dude fuck with us. So we fuck with him.
Straight up, man. But that's the thing. That's what I always pride myself on, man. I didn't interview people that I disagree with what they did breeding wise. But see, what I never do is I never let that but my personal feelings overshadow what we doing here. And you
Yeah.
can't do that shit, man. No matter what all the info is, all of it's new. And what we doing basically is creating weekly audio books.
And one
shit,
thing about
the more info out there, good and bad, is better as a whole, you know.
But the only thing that is really bad about what we do is somebody who does not do right by the animal and someone who is not good to other people. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like if there's no proof behind someone doing neither of those things, then don't ever tell somebody what to do with their platforms. Don't ever come to them and say, oh, because you're bringing this person on, I choose not to support you no more. Well, you know how much that's going to kick you in the ass? You know what I mean? Just because, you know how many times I've heard this shit, bro, and with time, bro, it's going to happen to you guys, unfortunately. I will tell you that much. 100 times.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, I told you, you're not the first person that we interviewed that they was like, I'm not fucking with y'all no more, so-and-so, and look, man,
it's already happened, bro. It's okay.
It's gonna be people that we interviewed that people love, and it's gonna be people that we interviewed that people can't stand.
And that means you're doing
first of all, MJ, you know, a lot of people showed up tonight for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I love all the support. It's so genuine. It's so amazing to say that you have real support out there. You guys have it too. Obviously, I've seen it. I'm a supporter. I support you guys. I may not comment all the time, but I'm fucking watching, man. I'm always like, this is the shit I listen to when I need to just do my work. You know what I mean? So, so to have real support out there, I never take for granted. My Patreon members, first and foremost, like those are the guys who motivate me the most because they pay me. Like they legit give me money. Like what the fuck kind of shit is that? Can you believe that? Like I'm living that life. And so I try to go hard as fuck for them. But also it just sees that, you know, this community we have is better with more people in it. But we have to be more like-minded people, meaning the well-being by the animals. The reason why I like Chondro people like us is because we are animal people first. Like none of us, like you guys wouldn't even want to have this podcast if your shit was not locked in. Like if your guys' husbandry, if your animals weren't 100% healthy to your standards, you would not have this podcast right now. I don't think you guys could.
No, you're right. I would tell you like this personally.
Can you say that last line again?
Yeah,
Can you say that last line? Can you please repeat yourself?
If your husbandry was not locked in, if you guys did not have things down to where you felt it was at your standard, you would not have this platform right now. You wouldn't be talking. What you should and honestly,
I'm glad you said that.
And honestly, the reason why I said I didn't want a podcast or I would have never done was because I was nobody back when I had this idea, but I had Forrest. Forrest was my guy to explain the experience, and I was the mouth, right? So, and I would have never done a podcast if it wasn't for Forrest. He was the one with the experience. But yes, I just want to say, like, you know, and Kino slept on letting everybody know what was going on with this shit. I was so impressed with that post, man. Kino, that post, like, if you want to talk about one thing I look up to you that I've never looked up to any chondro breeder in the game was the way you built the suspense up with that entire post of showing the beginning stages from the pairing, the eggs, to them being alive. Like, you know how long and patient it takes to fucking build all that content up and put it out like that? I wish I could do that.
It took a lot of patience, man.
That was hard as fuck. That was hard.
It was like so many episodes where Travis was like, "You dumb motherfucker, I think you said too much about this clutch. I think people know. You stupid." And I'm like, "Man, why is you cussing y'all, dog? I don't think I said nothing, man."
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I was talking about something else.
You know why you was fucking up is because people would be calling me and they'd be like, "Yo, what's going on with Kino?" I'm like, "Man, get the fuck off my line, bro." Like, bro.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like I love that people are.
But
excited.
I was superstitious too. MJ. I keep it 100 with you, man. I've been a baseball player for so long, and it's like,
you know what? Yeah.
When you're a baseball player, you got these quirks. You play the same size. If you go out and go have 3 hits, you gonna wear the same. You might not wash your cup or some shit like that. So it's like. Hey, it is what it is, man.
I got my hats I like to wear while I work. I got my hats I like to wear while I
Yeah.
podcast, man. Like I have specific things I do because I'm superstitious too. But I also have excitement that's hard to contain. And that's what will shoot you in the fucking foot out there, guys. Listen to me. Don't share excitement when it's too soon. Don't share excitement when it's too soon. You need to know when it's good to share things and when it's not good to share things. And because you have a pip, just because you have a pip doesn't mean it's time to share things.
I won't share pictures of animals in quarantine.
God,
I done did that shit, and I had an animal die 2 weeks later on me. I was like, man, if I wouldn't have never took that fucking picture, and it's just the picture took my phone. I ain't even shared it. It's some animals I ain't never shared.
Hey, let me ask you a question. You know what?
Somebody put on the story once.
Trav, go ahead. Hey, since Trav's away right now, I gotta ask you, what is one chondro breeder out there that you are dying to have on the show that you haven't had on yet?
Oh, you gonna put me on the spot?
Yeah. I'm just curious. Who's your guys' biggest fucking sought after guest right now in the chondro game? Maybe Trav knows it right off. Maybe Trav knows right off the top. I don't know.
Tomorrow, alive or dead?
No, like right now, like something you want to do. Like what's you haven't done it yet.
I don't have one because I think that all the people I wanted to talk to, like I've talked to them and either they say yes, they'll get to it, or no.
Yeah. No, I got two I want to talk to. I'm dying to talk to. Who was it?
He's dying, but you don't know who his name is.
Is he out of Florida?
It's
hard. Is it the one out of Florida?
Because it's like 5 people. It's like 5 people in Florida.
We get no Florida love, MJ. We get no Florida love.
Yeah,
it's like 3 people in Florida.
What's going on with that? You trying to beef for Florida people or what?
We're not trying to beef for Florida people. I think that we're just aligned with Texas, and like Florida people think that we got beef with them.
No. What's the name was Socrates said we too dark. You know what I'm saying? He said, what? I just play.
He's dark as fuck.
I just play.
Socrates, I think. No to you guys? Did you say no to you guys?
Nah, Socrates. I think we got it's timing is the issue. We got to get on the same page with the timing.
I mean, yeah, man, definitely timing. Not even.
Yeah, because he's very detailed. He's very detailed with the breathing and. No,
he does not fuck around with his schedule, bro. He has to be in bed at a certain time.
Yeah,
and he doesn't bend. And it's been like this.
We got to catch him in between deep breaths.
Yeah, listen, bro. Even if I wanted my boy on the show at my normal trap talk time, it ain't happening. He won't do it. So I feel it's all good. But I'm just telling you, man. There's other hitters out there that you can get on your show that I would love to see on your show.
It's one more person. It's 2 people across the pond I want to talk to.
I haven't seen Dave D on this show yet.
We got one person coming on in about a month.
Hey, Dave D loves dark people, so why not Dave D?
I've never personally talked to Dave D.
Dude, Dave's. I mean, he's definitely one of a kind. I'll tell you that much. Like you gotta know how to delegate with Dave, but he would be a fucking great podcast on this show.
What do you mean you one of a kind? Like what? Like a serial killer?
No, like he just doesn't give you much.
Okay.
I mean, I guess kind of like honestly, Dave, he kind of looks like he would fucking kill some shit. Sure.
I think we interviewed a couple of serial killers on here before.
Listen, you gonna leave my friend Chris.
I'm not gonna answer who. I'm just not gonna answer who.
No. Hey, Patrick's definitely
no comment. No comment.
You guys. Patrick has prison stories.
One thing about the Green Tree Python community is we are a very group of like it's niche people, but it's some weird people in Green Trees. It's some very weird people.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna get around to it. Dave D is somebody that I want to talk to Dave D because he doing, man. Dave D is the only person you can count on buying some shit from him and turn out blue. Let's keep it out.
Garrick. I would say that not against Garrick the House of Blue.
I would probably say Dave D is a better.
I'm talking about
I'm talking about people. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about people that have bought from him and actually the animal has turned out blue.
There's definitely more Dave D shit out there, 110%. There's a lot more Dave D stuff. And Socrates obviously has some of that Dave D stuff, and it's guaranteed. It's so guaranteed. It's fucking ridiculous.
I see more Garrick animals getting sold secondhand on Morph Market than I do Dave D's. Dave D, it seemed like when somebody buy
That's
Dave
not
D
a lie.
animal, it seemed just from my eyes. It seemed like when somebody buy a Dave D animal, that animal probably dies in their collection.
That's the goal. That's what I would want.
Yeah.
So you already seen people reselling Garrick shit?
There was 2 people in this chat that
multiple times
in the comments that were here tonight that was reselling. We ain't gonna go there, but it was
on Morph Market. It's been at least about 5 or 6 Garrick animals on Morph Market.
I'm gonna start naming people off. Just give me a thumbs up, okay, Trav?
I'm not gonna do that.
No,
they're my peoples. Like the people that did it.
Your peoples are flipping Garrick's shit.
But the only person I ever seen post a Dave D animal on Morph Market was Dave D.
Yeah. Hey, who in the chat is flipping Garrick's stuff? I'm just curious. Come on now.
I don't think they're flipping it. I don't think they flip it.
They just decided that's not.
So why would you buy it? Why would you buy an animal like that and not want to keep it?
I don't know. You got to ask them.
Where they at? Where they at? Are those your friends?
I'll ask them and I'll get back with
you. There's people on Morph Market.
Do I know them?
You know at least one of them. I know because you talked to him.
That's heartbreaking.
You said it's one of them? I think one of them was one of them. MJ, ain't it?
That's heartbreaking.
One of them is your homie.
Because honestly, guys, no. Because I was just talking about this. Like, I would like to be a part of a game that if I sell something to somebody, and mind you, I don't know what the prices are of this guy, so I'm not saying this situation, but it would really piss me the fuck off if I were to sell something to somebody and they turn around and put it on Morph Market for I don't know, period, I guess. Either more money, the same money. I'd be like, whoa, why are you selling that animal? I would want to ask him, why are you selling that animal? Like, what's going on? Because like you guys said, my goal is I want this animal to die with me. I want that. That would be my goal.
Listen,
and you would like, honestly, you would like returning customers to the same person and be able to come back 4 or 5 animals. Yeah.
It's not Brian. Brian. It's not you, is it, Brian. Brian, don't say it's you, buddy.
MJ, I gave Keno 4 animals. And
if it's Brian, I'm not mad. I like Brian.
He had one of them that was a male, and he had enough males. It didn't bother me at all for him to, get rid of the male, because he had too many males already.
Is it Calvin Garcia?
I don't even know who Calvin Garcia is.
I want to. He was in the chat earlier. I want to say shout out to Calvin, and I know it wasn't him.
I saw Calvin, but I couldn't tell you what Calvin collection looked like.
If you see me wearing cowboy boots at Arlington, it's only because of Calvin. I just want to give him a shout out to Calvin. You know what I mean?
Are you coming to this Arlington?
I can't say yes or no right now. Sorry.
Okay.
I think some of these people some of these people feel like they being bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, and run amok.
And me and a certain person from the UK
just
are
be honest.
Shopping in Dallas.
That's what they told me.
Who's being bamboozled?
Hey,
he said Lil Friole.
whoever got them animals up there.
Oh my God, this was great. I love the way we ended this shit tonight. This was awesome.
Yeah, MJ, if you want to come boot shopping with us, if you come this time, you can roll with us.
I mean,
boot shopping?
What kind of what kind of change should you drop on some good boots? Like what's like a respectable amount of money you should drop on some good quality boots?
You want to get some gator boots? Some gator boots?
I don't want gator boots. I don't want gator boots.
Well, I'm going to get custom boots this time. I think that respectable pair of boots, you get a pair of boots for I don't know, 300, 350.
That's what I heard. I heard 300-400 is the range right there.
Yeah, you can get a good pair of boots for about 300, 400. If you're gonna get custom, it ain't no telling how much you're gonna spend.
You should get some custom boots, like some ostrich skin.
Hey, no.
You gonna get the pistachio ostriches?
I almost. You want to know? You want to know the one time I almost unfollowed Kino? I took this really lovely picture for my mom's birthday with my mom, dad, and I had my boots on. And he remember what you said about my boots? This fool said, what did you say? What do you remember what you said?
No, I don't even remember exactly. But
I can't believe you went outside with those. You said I can't believe you went outside looking like that. And I was like, what? Fool, what? You're like, MJ, you basically say you can't pull those off, MJ. That's what he told me.
MJ, don't feel bad. He talks shit about my boots all the time, bro.
And I think it's because my shirt was tucked in. I don't know what it was.
It might have been because you tucked in the shirt.
So look, are you supposed to wear socks with boots or no?
Yes, you're supposed to wear socks 100%. With boots.
See, you ain't had no socks on with them boots, MJ. You ain't had no socks.
No, bro, there were short socks, the Nike socks. What are you talking about?
No, MJ. It was summer off with your boots, MJ. It was summer off. I have been flagged for wearing
my shorts with my boots. I guess that's not a thing, but I think I look fine. I don't know.
And it wasn't like jean shorts. It was like some basketball shorts. It wasn't. I don't know.
No, bro, the dinner picture was jeans, bro. No, the picture that he clowned me on was a family picture with my mom and dad.
You gotta send me this picture again.
It was jeans. There were jeans. I'll put it up on Instagram. Don't.
You had a whole jean outfit. You had a jean jacket too.
I had jeans not jean short. I had jeans on.
The Latins, y'all love them jean outfits with the damn with the tie right here and the things hanging.
Polo tie. Listen, MJ, I took a picture of myself in a sun hat.
It's like a metal piece.
Kino still talks shit about my fucking sun hat. So don't feel bad, bro. Don't feel bad about it at all.
I did at the time, but I feel better now. I'm good now.
Y'all got me like this bully. I just go around bullying people. I don't, man. I like your slave hat. I did like the slave hat. It looked like
it's not a slave hat.
It looked like something that the ancestors passed down to you. You know what I'm saying? It's been in the family for a few generations.
How the fuck slave ancestors gonna pass down a nylon hat, motherfucker? You fucking dickhead.
Working on the railroad. They was working on the railroad.
You think the Underground Railroad had just an abundance of nylon hats?
I'm gonna post the hat. I'm gonna post the hat so people can see it.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
You had a rough day.
People gonna be like, yo, man, where you get the hat from? I'm gonna be like, I got it from Kino House.
Imagine you ain't smoking on camera, man. Was you scared to smoke on camera, MJ? What? What's this?
The what?
You were scared to smoke on camera? What's this?
No. I smoked earlier. I can't.
No, you dipped off.
I don't smoke on my own channel. I keep it very private on my own channel now. Here
why you switch?
I've been myself all night.
Why you switch up?
It's been great.
Why you switch up? Because you used to.
I gotta respect the sponsors, bro.
Okay, all right, okay.
You know what I mean?
We appreciate that.
After you have bottom feeders come after you and your sponsors, you just got to make sure you're not vulnerable. Like I gotta keep it less for them to bitch. You know, there's this. You know, I'm still me. Don't get me wrong, but like, there's certain things I'd rather not give them anymore.
I get what you're saying.
That's why I asked you respectfully if I can smoke on here. You guys,
no, you good.
And it felt great. It felt great to be me tonight.
No, we noticed it was some shit that we couldn't do when we was doing on IG that we couldn't bring over here. So we had to switch it up a little bit too.
Yeah. It's not like you were smoking out of like a light bulb or no shit. We don't care.
I don't think MJ smoked crack, bro. I don't think he did that.
It's not that type of party. If somebody pulled up with a light bulb and be like, bro, come on, bro.
You had a guest
kids out here. Nah. Yeah. A smoke off a Coke can. Smoke rocks off a Coke can.
Life can be brutal, man.
Oh shit, MJ, wow. And Travis is wow.
I'm not wild. He said we all smoke here except Travis. Yeah, I don't do drugs. I work for the government. I don't do drugs.
One thing I do respect anybody out there who's just never done drugs. God, I mean, good for you. Because really, I mean, I don't think you're missing much.
People that tell you that they never did drugs before are usually doing some extra weird shit through a
Travis did
VPN.
drugs before. He just don't do drugs now, but he didn't do a lot of drugs before. Travis is. He didn't hit the Lieutenant Dan.
Shut up, bro. All right, man.
They ain't call him Sugar for no reason.
Booger Sugar. All right. So I think we had it. It's 11:41, 40 minutes over.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate you, MJ, for stopping through. You still have 20 people here watching you. And thank you for having us on your show, and thank you for coming to ours. And bro, I can't wait to meet you in person, bro.
Yeah, same here. Thank you everyone again for tapping in. Thank you, Chondro Bar Room, so much for having me be a part of this. I think it's historical. And I just honestly, man, just everyone out there enjoy what they keep and just keep learning, man. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. I think it's very important that you should anywhere you listen to something that you enjoy, make sure you hit it's free. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It motivates people like this to keep going. And I know this firsthand. So if anyone out there are listening and this is your first time here, it'd mean a lot to me personally if you hit the subscribe button for them. So I'm good.
And support Trap Talk as well.
Yeah, no worries.
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
man. The trap be going up, and Lil Birdie said that the trap is about to start moving the ball python to the side and going monitor heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. You're gonna fuck around, make me get a monitor.
Definitely some big changes in the next year, man. Just be ready for quite a bit of a switch in the next year or so. But yeah, man, thank you again for having me. You guys are awesome. Have a good night, man.
Congratulations on the son.
Good night, y'all. Hey, congratulations, man.
Welcome to fatherhood, man.
Thank you, guys.
It's a blessing. It's a beautiful thing, man.
All right, guys.
All right, till next week, y'all. Peace. All right,
Peace.
church.